Hey, fragrance lovers, how y'all doing today? How's the fragrance world? How's the fragrance life? Hope that y'all are doing all right out there. We're on our, you know, Saturday night chat talking about fragrance. How's everybody been doing out there? I feel like everybody's been winding down, getting busy, being active, having a little bit more freedom to go about out and about, do what they want, and maybe I've been spending less time on, good old Facebook and Instagram and the social net and as they joke and say. But a lot of goods have been happening. Also, there's been some drama. We'll get into that here in a second. But already, we'll talk about it a little bit. I don't know if y'all even want to hear about this bit of drama, but we'll get into it a little bit in a second. How's my connection? How am I sounding? Feel free to say hello, share your scent of the day, what you're wearing, how you're doing. For me, I'm wearing English Blazer by Primera Fragrances. That's my scent of the day. So I've seen some people pop in and then pop out. Not sure what that's about. Not sure what's going on there. So, anyways, how's everybody been doing? Have y'all been having a good weekend? Anything new? Anything good in the fragrance world? For you, we'll get into this topic. It's a doozy. I'm going to step in the hot water a little bit. I think now, not too much, but it's going to be good. It's mostly going to be encouragement I guess what it's not an attack. It's not pointed towards anybody, but it's more of like what the community needs to become and what the community needs to do. I'll talk about that a little bit. But of course, we'll talk about also after that, we'll talk about new releases and we'll joke and we can talk about any topic. This is an open platform, of course, where you're allowed to suggest what you want to, guide the discussion a little bit and just have a fun time. So there's only, I see one person here. Feel free to say hello. I do appreciate the like. I'm not asking for those, but I do appreciate the love and the support back. So I'm not sure why people are popping in and out. I'm not sure what's going on this evening. But hey, are y'all having a good Saturday? How's everybody doing? Hey, Fritz. Fritz the cat is in the house. Good to see you, Fritz. How's life treating you? What's good? What's new? How's everybody doing today? What's your scent of the day? Good to see you, my friend. What's new? What's your, again, I'm wearing English Blazer by Primera. It has some raspberry and some leather, so some people might say it's a Tuscan leather fragrance. I haven't released my review yet. That's coming a little bit later on once we get closer to the fall weather. But it's got a lot more other things going on to it. But I do feel like they made their own hybrid of sorts, but it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. Very unisex for sure. Fritz the Cat says 85-ish. It's and Ateus. Yeah, it's still been getting pretty hot here. We've been in the 90s this week. I think we had a 95 Fahrenheit day, and it's high humidity, so it's still pretty darn hot here. But it's slow. There's been some dips and some ups and downs, so it's starting to cool down, up and down a little bit. So, anyways, Anateus is a fantastic fragrance. That is classy, respectable, and just refined. I do feel like it has a little bit of an animalic soapy touch. Not that that's bad. It does remind me of Koros in its own little way, but I think it's personally for me, it's better than Koros. I think it's better. Oh, you have a vintage bottle. No problem. And it tastes, yes, it's a great fragrance. You have a vintage bottle. I haven't smelled the vintage. I don't know if there's been a reformulation of that one or not. I haven't heard about that one. I know with Zeno, there was definitely reformulation with some of these. I haven't heard of reformulation of Koros. Of course, the original Aqua di Gio, of course, has been reformulated, but some of them I'm not really sure if they have or not. Mr. Davis, good to see you in the house. How are you doing, and what is your scent of the day? And Decence is in the house. Hello, Ben, and hello, everyone. Welcome to the live today. Welcome to the chat. Everyone's welcome. It's a good time over here. I'm actually sweating a little bit just in my room here. And I forget how hot it is. It's probably still in the 80s with humidity indoors, and got a little fan going. It's still sunny. I live, I guess, closer to the equator than some of y'all, and it's actually still bright and sunny outside. It's about 6 p.m. for me. Anyways, what's your scent of the day, everybody? Okay, so are y'all ready for this topic and this discussion? I don't want to be too dramatic. I don't want to step on any toes. And I certainly want to bring people together. That's what my channel's always been about, is trying to bring people together, build an actual a sense of a community, and build the community at large, and encourage anybody and everybody that we're all together talking about fragrances and loving fragrances, and that we're not all the same. I've talked about this before. We all don't wear fragrances for the same reasons. We don't. Well, we all have our own different styles, and we might present fragrances in a different way. So this kind of gets into how we present fragrances, and I guess why we some people like certain fragrances, and it's more about the viewership and the community on who they watch and who they support. So I'm about to get into that if y'all are ready. Davis says, I'm rocking Alexandra fragrance version of Hermes 24. Do you find that it's just as good, or do you find if that's better than H24? Again, H24 was not a bad fragrance. I have reviewed that one if y'all haven't seen my review yet. I thought it was decent. I just felt that they kind of simplified it. Some people might say dumbed down the fragrance. It's not a bad fragrance. For some people, they might find it's a unisex for some modern, confident ladies. But I still felt like it was, I don't know, kind of. I thought that they were marketing it towards men. It feels kind of unisex. It's kind of in between masculine and unisex, and to me, it just wasn't interesting. It was if I was talking to guys who would probably be the majority of people still interested in that DNA, I probably would still recommend the original, Terre de Hermes to them. And if you want something versatile and you really like freshness, the Eau Trace Fresh, in my opinion, better than H24. The Eau Trace Fresh is better than H24. So I felt like it really wasn't much different. There was a little bit of that, like they're supposed to be like a steamed iron accord, like like a metallic, humid air type of quality. And they had some unique uses of florals, but it just didn't stand out. To me, it wasn't a great release, but we'll see how successful it is. Mr. Davis says, I heard that the clone is not as sweet, but not have tried the OG. H24 is not sweet to begin with. For some people, the original might be considered a sour fragrance to a lot of modern noses who have to have a little bit of sweetness or a lot of sweetness. I actually test and share fragrances with people all around me. And some of the gentlemen I'm around prefer fougere fragrances, and almost everything that's modern to them is not only, most of it's a little bit sweet. Actually, almost everything is sweet, but a lot of things are actually way too sweet for them to wear. So it's interesting for sure. Rose and Jones, good to see you, Rose and Jones. Hey, Benjamin, hope you're well. It's late, so I'm passing through. Well, if you have to have a good go to bed, have a good night, Rose and Jones, and y'all know that she has a wonderful channel going on over there. Thank you for popping in. And Decence saying hello. Yes, Fritz the Cat says, I got a cheapie from Marshall's on Thursday. Black is Black Modern Oud for $9.99. That's not too much. I don't honestly have not tried the fragrance. Don't know too much about it. No oud. Yeah, for that kind of price, you're not going to get any natural oud in the fragrance. Real natural oud is a very expensive thing. So what a lot of people don't. There is markup, especially in the designer world of things. They take advantage of that and put a little bit of even the synthetic oud's a little bit expensive, but they take advantage and mark it up a little bit. So that fragrance you might be lucky to get some woodiness out of it. So anyways, no oud, but still decent, spicy, powdery amber. That's nice. That's nice. I never discourage people against going to Marshall's and Ross. Depending on how big of a city you're in, you might actually be able to snag up some good deals, and then you don't have to order online and wait for the fragrance to be shipped to your door. I've kind of talked about it before, but I like to get exactly what I like, and I like to hunt for the best deals. So I often don't recommend Ross and TJ Maxx. Maybe I would do some of those vlogs like some people like, but my Ross and TJ Maxx almost never has anything that I would ever care for. We don't ever have a Lucky Creed slip in there for $50 or anything like that. So I've seen some people get Bond number 9s for, on the really, really cheap. And I for a while, there was some Aqua de Parma slipping through the cracks for crazy cheap prices. I mean, I've seen some people get some really good stuff from those kinds of stores. So Mr. Davis says, I'm a big Fougere guy. I remember never used to like them. Yeah, some people are growing into them. I haven't seen a lot of people grow out of them. I respect Fougere fragrances, but honestly, um, it has to be done right for me. It has to have some woody or oriental, or kind of exotic flair to it. Not that Fougere is bad, but for me, going for that, if it's just a oak moss, bergamot, citrus fragrance, I don't know. For me, that's not. It doesn't. I don't know why it just doesn't work for me. I want to like them, but I know some guys out there. That's their whole collection, and yeah, some people they have different styles, and we got to respect that for sure. Some people all they want to wear is like aquatics, and I have a difficult time finding aquatics that I like, but there's some good ones. Rosen Jones says, "Thanks, Benjamin. Have a great live." Yes, thank you, Rosen Jones. Thank you for the love. Gaza, be thy name says, "Sense of the day is a Gear by Gear Ness." Yes, that is a nice one. If I remember right, very musky. Hello from New Zealand. Good to see you. Everybody popping up, and that's always really fun to see people internationally all around the world popping in. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful thing, and again, I hope to be able to travel one of these days. Empty Sits. Good to see you. Says hi, Ben plus Fritz plus everyone. Yes, everybody. Mr. Davis says I love Invasion. MDCI makes some great ones. Chypre Palatine, also a great fragrance that harkens back to some of that classic DNA and does it very well, very well. Okay, so before we get to the new releases and any other topics we find through Fragrantica, are y'all ready for a little bit of this topic? Again, I don't try to be dramatic. I don't try to step into the drama, but I kind of feel like I should a little bit. Not not for views and not for anything like that, but if you're aware of Frag Com, there's a certain video that was released recently. There's some people popping in. I'm about to talk about it, but Bryn, good to see us. Says Ben, hey from Emerald Isle. Remind me where the Emerald Isles are. Sounds beautiful. I forget honestly where those are. So I'm new here. Good to see you, Dominique. You're always welcome. Everybody new here. There's a lot of people who have been here for a while, so I'm pretty familiar with them. Fans and are people who just love fragrances, and you're welcome here. That's for sure. Ben, are you going to try Dior Elixir? Are you talking about the Sauvage Elixir, or is it even called Sauvage Elixir? It's in the same line, isn't it? I'm going to try to get my nose on it. Sauvage. Every time I see that, I want to joke and say sausage. Just, it's kind of cheeky. I will get my nose on it and try to review it. I don't have a ton of extra money to just blind buy and review every single new designer release that comes out. I wish that I did. Hopefully we'll get there sometime soon, but that I'm not there yet. But I'll try to, it would be fun to be able to, I don't have connections like that. I'm not on a wait list where I'm connected or have some insider inside of Macy's. Like it seems like almost some of these guys do. I have to get my hands on it sometimes as fast as I can, if I can. So it depends. Sometimes I get things fast, and as y'all know, like I think I was the first person to have what was that fragrance? The Polo Green, like Eau de Cologne. What was that thing called? Oh, I think I was the first person maybe to review that. Should I buy Versace Eros EDT or the EDP? I definitely would smell them and test them on your skin. Your skin and your personal opinion is what matters most, besides my own personal opinion. I honestly, the EDP's been out for a month or two, hasn't it? I haven't even got my nose on it. The EDT is still strong enough as far as I hear, but test them both on your skin, see how it makes you feel, see if which one has better strength and works in the types of environments and around the people that you're around. And that's what I would recommend. But both of them seem pretty solid, pretty dependable DNAs that seem great. Versace Eros is known as a party fragrance, and I'm sure that it can work for that. I never felt like the projection on Versace Eros was massive, but I can see where it would have really good sillage. And again, I don't tend to overspray, and that's might get us a little bit into our topic here in a second, but I don't overspray. I don't recommend doing that. Again, especially if you don't want to offend or choke out people. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Brand says Ireland, my friend. Oh, that's beautiful, and I do love Ireland. My dad's side has Irish roots, so I won't say I try to keep myself private, but I am an MC. I'm not a Mac, but I am MC. I definitely have Irish roots, so maybe we feel a little bit of kinship with each other. That's awesome, and I love again. I'm a little bit of an outdoorsman, and I like to work with my hands and make things that are beautiful and work. And I got some bogwood. I think this bogwood came from Russia or something, but I know that some of it does come out of Ireland, and that's a. If you were wealthy, you would make that into a pipe. I won't get if you want to. I can explain what bogwood is, but it's rare, it's unusual, and I don't know, Brent, if you've ever had any or seen any, but I almost bought some off of eBay from Ireland. Fritz says, "Sup, Ronnie? Yes, Gaza be thy name." Says, "I don't have problems with my 29 arrows. A lot of people say they have performance problems. Yeah, I heard that there might have been a reformulation. I'm not really sure about that. Some fragrances get reformulated really quick, and then people sometimes don't know. Like Spice Bomb was reformulated within less than a year, maybe 6 months. I did smell the original Spice Bomb. Most people did not never smelled the original formulation, and it was more of a chili fragrance. It was a very different fragrance. It was spicier, and it was almost felt more aggressive, and it wasn't overtly seductive. It was like high energy. It felt more like that, and instead they switched from that chili note. They switched to more of a cardamom in Spice Bomb. So sometimes these brands sneak up on people, but sometimes people do pay attention and say what they need to say. Like you say, Laurent's multiple reformulations of La Nuit de l'Homme. It's not hyped about or regularly talked about in the Frag Com anymore, and we got to put our mouth where our money is, and support and encourage the things that the companies that are doing things right. And if companies don't do us right, it's like I'd love to talk about you say La Nuit de l'Homme. It's still a solid fragrance. I'd love to still continue talking about it, but they reformulated it to death, and now it's terribly weak. It would be weak even for a date, perhaps, and when people are or somebody's close to you. So here, yeah, but I think the Elixir special now on the came out fighting lull game on. Now the channel come out. I'm not now let I'm not sure what you mean about that, like with the fight. Help me understand, Brent. I'm not sure what you meant by that. Dominique says, I have my last $100. Should buy Dior Sauvage. I think that Dior Sauvage is overpriced, and I personally don't like. I know a lot of people, maybe a million people out there like Dior Sauvage, and respect and power to the people who do like it, but I've just never connected to the DNA. I think that Bleu de Chanel is a better DNA. I know that it's a little bit more expensive, but I think you get a little bit more of your money's worth. And as far as blue fragrances go, again, I would recommend the Bleu de Chanel, the EDP version, not the EDT and not the Parfum, the EDP version of Bleu de Chanel. If you're on a budget, I would just say get Versace Dylan Blue. It's a great mass appealing DNA. It's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit grittier with like a black patchouli almost. It's great, and for the budget, for the value, for the money, that's really your best bang for your buck if you're on a budget, in my opinion. But if you have the money, I'd say go for the Bleu de Chanel. But that's just me. I know that there's lovers, and that's one of the big one of the big topics in Fragcom. That's it's been going on forever. So. Empty Sense says, "Hey Dunk, how is San Fran treating you? Yeah, how's it going over there?" Brent says, "Wearing a green tee, boy." Fritz the Cat says, "San Fran is treating me well." That's good to hear. Ronald Japinga says, "Oh, good to see you, Ronald. Welcome. Evening, Scent of the Night, Pulse of the Night. Issey Miyake, how's that one working for you? I hear really good things." Empty Sense says, "You can still eat outside." I think things are becoming a little bit more lenient. We won't get into that topic. Supposedly, some people are saying that they're gonna be kicking people indoors and all that stuff again. I don't know. We're not going to get into that here too much, but we are going to touch perhaps a little bit of drama here in a second. And after I switch, I promised y'all we'll get to it. I got to catch up with the comments. Hello, save another 50 and go for Elixir. Okay, people are saying the Elixir is worth it. I've heard that it's might be different from Sauvage. Again, I didn't connect or like the original Sauvage that much, so I'm probably going to annoy people. Some of the people who like the original EDT version, who don't think that there should be any flankers, I'll probably like the Elixir more than the rest of them. We'll have to see if I like it at all. Maybe I'll like it more than Blue Day Chanel EDP, and maybe I'll like it more than Versace Dylan Blue. We'll have to see. Fragrance Journey's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. I know that you keep on grinding and doing, sharing beautiful fragrances. And again, it always impresses me how many fragrances there are. I'm constantly reviewing fragrances that most people never talk about. Fragrance Journey is also legit out there. He's talking about bold, strong fragrances, often niche, not always, but often niche. Animalic, he loves is animalics, and he's sharing always something new that I've never reviewed half of the time, and I've never seen anybody else review most of the time. So, Fragrance Journey, love that he's doing that. And that's what I would like to see more from fragrance reviewers. We're about to talk about the fragrance community a little bit here in a second. So I appreciate that you're here, Fragrance Journey. Bryn Lynch says, save another. Read that. I got vintage Genghis Khan. It has a musky, sweet smell of the Cartier Declaration, but it held together better with the Fougere note. So I'm happy that you like it. I'm happy that it's working with you or for you. So Empty Sense says, no, get political. Yeah, I'm not going to get political. That's not what we're here for, but we're going to talk about some fragrance community stuff. That's for sure here in a second. Fragrance Journey says, I'm not a fan of Dior sausage. Yeah, joking. I say that too sometimes. The Dior sausage. It doesn't work for me either, but more power to the people who like it. Fritz the Cat says, lol, wifey wants to get a permanent move to Texas. I can't make decisions for you, but Texas is awesome. I'm probably going to try to go to Florida if I can. Again, we don't get political over here, but I don't like property tax, and I would like one day to have a little bit of land and have a little homestead and be like a little outdoor farming type of guy. And I don't want to pay bucos thousands of bucks to just have a little bit of land. So not a lot, just a little bit to live on. Maybe have a dog, a pet or something. See here. Bren says, not a sausage, a Sauvage fan myself, likes, the non-believer. It's kind of like a cult almost. Yeah. Dominic says, do you know of some sweet, good first impression fragrances? There's a lot of those, especially in the designer world, especially if you're not too picky. One that's really easy going, really easy to wear, and everybody seems to like it. And I get away with it a little bit in the summer. Paco Rabanne 1 Million Lucky. It still hits the top 10s a little bit here and there. As far as designer fragrances go, it's one of the better ones for that. That's for sure. Definitely give that one a go. Give it a try if you haven't. If you love natural, niche, high-end fragrances, might not do it for you, but hey, it works. Nichane Ani is also really likable. And I don't know. If you're super masculine, you might not want to wear Ani, but it's unisex. It's great. Scott says, thoughts on Bulgari Man in Black. Still a great fragrance. Really great. I have a review out of it. I'm pretty darn sure it's probably a little bit older now. You could watch that one. I'm considering it, maybe re-reviewing it, but I do want to make a top 10 for fall or winter. It will be on one of those lists. It's bold. It's lovely. It has a little bit of tuberose, which is kind of different, especially in the designer fragrance world. So solid stuff. If you love spice and tobacco, and so some people say it has a fougere element. I suppose it does, but to me, it just smells respectable, kind of a little bit elegant. To me, it doesn't really have too much of a fougere feel. But Fritz the Cat says, I can't wear Sauvage because I despise. I'm not going to get into that too much. That's political, but I definitely say would look at both sides. I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's a saint, but there's a lot of fight and a lot of people who say good or bad about both sides of that argument. I almost don't know who to believe. But definitely look at both sides of that argument. I don't know if they're going to make that court case public, but whenever that kind of stuff, if it ever does go to court, that is going to be one interesting watch. That is certainly going to be something interesting to behold if they put that public. I doubt that they would make that court case public, because that there's a lot of shade to throw around, multiple companies, and a lot of dirt that could be thrown around regarding that. Um, Ronald says, JP Le Mans Le Parfum Le Bois are sweet designers that gave me good compliments. Yeah, the new Le Parfum from Jean Paul Gaultier, solid fragrance, playing up on that cardamom a little bit, but it did it. It's a successful fragrance. I'm not too familiar with the Le Bois or Le Beau, but sounds good. Ristretto Intense Cafe, though, yeah, that one's great. That one's going to be great for the fall and winter. Okay, so let's again. I want to say that the things I'm gonna say regarding the fragrance community. I mean them in the most respectful of bringing people together. This is not meant as divisive, but I have no doubt that somebody might unsubscribe from me out there. Somebody might unlike. Somebody might. But I gotta say something because again, I started my channel about the fragrance community. If you go to my first original video, I started because I wanted to have some influence and put my voice out there and connect and be friends. And I care about the community as a whole. Again, how many people are in the community? Maybe it's just a small amount of people who are actually really passionate about fragrances. Again, we're probably very much in the minority, especially compared to views wise. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm about to talk about. But I do care. And I think that we have an opportunity for positive influence and positive change. And I think that we need to do that. So that's about what I'm about to say. But do you know Sergio Tecci, your match fragrance? I think I've heard of it, but I don't know if I don't think that I've reviewed it or gotten my nose on it. Maybe I'll have to check it out. Empty Sense says, try any Marina de Bourbon, anyone. Not very familiar with that, honestly, my friend. I'll have to get my nose on it, see if I can get a fragrance. So, hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great weekend. Good to see you, Nikki. Very welcome. And would appreciate your thoughts on this this topic I'm about to get into. So I'm not going to, again, I'm going to kind of this is, some people might not like my style and personality, but I'm going to kind of talk about what's getting people talking. And then I'm going to get into what I think is the important thing to talk about. So what has got people talking? And then what really matters? What do we really need to be talking about? Anthony Concepcion says, Scent of the Night, Armani Code, Profumo Special Blend. Heard that one's really good. That one's kind of coveted. You're going to make some people jealous. That one's not easy to get anymore. Okay, so the topic is, if y'all haven't seen, Mr. Smelly made a video recently. If you know, have you seen it? Do you know what I'm talking about? He made a video where he shouted out a bunch of attractive ladies in Frag Com. I could make a whole video about this. Again, I have lots of opinions on multiple different issues, but there's a lot of ladies who were saying that he was nasty or gross or anything like that. I want to say in the Fragcom that for some reason, if anybody talks about anything regarding ladies, that it's a negative. I think that ladies are generally treated very well in Fragcom, and in Fragcom, I've always tried to be inclusive, and I even make videos about unisex fragrances, and I've reviewed as many feminine fragrances as I possibly can. To me, I don't see that as a negative, and in fact, some of the fastest growing channels are the ladies, and again, I guess the bigger issue is I don't know, should Mr. Smelly, that's what some people think is the issue. Should Mr. Smelly have addressed or approached that? The thing is, the ladies who are making these channels and make these types of videos, and you know exactly who these people are, they are intentionally making this content. And it's kind of like the tub streamers on Twitch. You can get on there and you can start making risque jokes if you want to. And then they'll act like you're perverted or something like that. It's kind of the same thing. There's the ladies in Fragcom. There's a lot of great ones, and they're respectable, and they're doing great things. But there are some who are getting amazing views and amazing growth. More power to them. They have the freedom, of course, to do whatever the heck they want. I'm not trying to take away from that. The thing is that some people are trying to make it out like they're a victim because of Mr. Smelly, or if you call them out. If you want to do that, if that's your moral opinion or moral prerogative, like that's important to you, then they act like they're quote unquote victims. And I think the real issue in Fragcom is who we're going to support. So this is my segue. We're going to get into the topic that actually matters here. Again, I don't. Mr. Smelly actually supported these ladies. He actually gave his audience and supported and gave his audience of men who might be attracted, might be, and might want to see these ladies. He actually gave them a bunch of spotlight and a bunch of views, and actually was very nice, and actually tried to make it very clear that he was not being a lech or suggestive towards them in any way. But I find it fascinating that so many people in this world have so many dramatically opposite and dramatically different opinions on things. Because I didn't even know that he made that video, and I saw some people on Instagram getting angry about it. So I went and watched his video, and I didn't see anything in the video that could have been seen as disrespectful. In fact, he supported them and he encouraged them. So I don't know. What really matters to me is essentially what Mr. Smelly did was he supported these ladies. Again, some of them are fantastic ladies who don't deserve to be thrown in that same category. Is essentially almost, I don't know, inviting that kind of attention and inviting that type of topic in Fragcom. Maybe some of those ladies didn't deserve to be in the list, but we as a Fragcom and we as a fragrance community need to support, in my opinion, fragrance, the actual pursuit of fragrance, the art, the creativity, the excitement for fragrance. And again, I'm not trying to take shots at Mr. Smelly, but in my opinion, if any bigger fragrance reviewer or anybody who wants to use any of their views or influence, they should be supporting other people who are maybe of a similar mindset. Maybe Mr. Smelly, he doesn't think this way. I'm not taking shots at him, but he's supporting some of these people, that are, you could say, are taking advantage of the Fragcom. And there's a lot of young men, a lot of men who want to smell attractive. And I've talked about this before. The majority of people who buy fragrances are really young men who want to smell attractive and go to parties and go to clubs. That's the majority. You see commercials that advertise to that sense and that attitude. And even though fragrance commercials have always been a joke, they've always been strange, really, they still, in one way or another, kind of appeal, to that big sense of masculinity, going out there, getting the girl type of attitude. So again, I'm not trying to say one thing is right or the other, but if we want to stop the panty dropper type of community, which some people get really up in arms about, get really angry about that, you shouldn't be pointing at some of the people in the past. I know some people beat up on some of the greats like my Mickers. He joked about that stuff a little bit. The ladies are the ones pushing this, especially these days, and that's really my point. The ladies are pushing this, the panty dropper type thing. Is that a terrible thing? Is that a bad thing? There's an audience for it. There's people who want that. Are there people in Fragcom who don't want to see that? Do I necessarily want to watch a video where some lady she's half dressed or whatever, and she's I'm sorry, I'm trying to focus on topic here and not get on the read the conversation right now. We'll get to it here in a second. But do I want to watch a video like that where people talk about panty droppers or how to get the girl, or people joking with like emojis of peaches, you know what I'm talking about, with Tinder and all that stuff, if Netflix and chill and those types of topics. Do I want to be any part of that? Not really. But again, I'm not trying to be a moralist here and say it's all bad, it's immoral. I'm saying that we as a fragrance community it seems like so many of us, because we see that there's such a huge amount of these people, and we see that we are outnumbered. We're not using our voices and inviting people to see that there's other great fragrances, that you don't have to fight these people. You don't have to disagree with them, that you could be inviting them. And so many of y'all have great collections. and already make great content and great channels. Why not invite these people that, not everybody is going to be interested. And I'm not even focusing on niche here. I'm just saying focusing on actually understanding fragrances. Again, we could be doing this, and if you know we that's what I think we should be doing as a fragrance community. Still inviting, still encouraging. It's some people have just accepted defeat, and it's some people are trying to play into the algorithm, because these people are getting the views, and some people are pushing the narrative. And again, it's not the men. I want to be very clear about that. I don't see any popular men. I don't even see Jeremy Fragrance. I'm going to name the name. I'm going to say the forbidden one. I'm not. I don't even see Jeremy Fragrance making a top 10 panty dropper fragrance list. I can't remember. Maybe he has made that type. He has talked about those topics in one way or another, but I can't remember the last time I ever saw him actually make that video. And if he was to make that type of video, he would get a lot of views. He would. And maybe he's going to do it now. I don't know. But there's no doubt about it that people would want to watch that. But it just amazes me that so many people instantly got angry at Mr. Smelly, but they don't get angry at the people who are actually making this type of content. Strange. Very strange world. The world is a strange place. I don't know. How do y'all feel about this? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if I'm very wrong. But again, I want to bring everybody together. And I don't know. I don't want to take shots at any one person, but recently there's a lot of things that's been happening in Frag Com that kind of smaller movements that I think is just not good. Not good. Like the overspraying thing, like 20 sprays. I won't even say the term. You know what I'm talking about. Like encouraging people to put on 10, 20 sprays of a fragrance and all kinds of things. Is that really going to help people enjoy fragrances and have a better time with fragrances? I don't think so. So that's what my topic's about. So how do y'all feel? Let's see if we're going to talk about this a little bit, and then we'll start getting into newer releases or anything like that. So let's see. People, okay, oh yeah, son, thanks, brother. Okay, ladies of Fragcom are making nerdy the new. I think that intelligence is important. Yeah, I hope so. And keeping it smart. People sell themselves on the tube. That happens all around. People are doing that on Twitch. People are doing it on Twitch. There's recently some drama with something fans. I don't know what I can say here on YouTube. People sell themselves. They do it a lot. That's for sure. People do it a lot out there for sure. And TikTok. TikTok, even Instagram in general. That's what that's what most of the people go there for. It's that's some people argue that's why the internet was created. But anyways, Micah says people sell. I read that. Dominique says everybody has their own opinion about everything. I think it's all about which side, how you understand. Yeah, it's good to understand everybody's points of view for sure. It's great to take everything in. That's for sure. Empty Sense says he's objectifying them. He knows that they have boyfriends and husbands. Yeah, but yet, where does the blame lie? They're the ones making that type of content. He should be asked first if he could put them on the vid. Can I simp or what? I'm not going to call you that, but I guess you should ask for people's opinions, but you can talk about people if you want. And see, this is the whole thing with a community and conversation. If one of these content creators did not like that they were mentioned, if Demi did not, or somebody did not like that she was mentioned in Mr. Smelly's video, why doesn't she make a response video? But instead, a lot of fans get to talking and voice their opinions and start arguing with each other. But I could see why you should be respectful and ask for permission. But you know how YouTube works. You can make videos in general about a certain topic, but you can't use their actual content. If you repurpose it in a way that is new content, you can get away. So he didn't actually even share any of their footage. He just shared their picture. So I know what you're saying. Just stay away from Tara. She's on the she's on the second wife. That's not a good thing to say either, especially these days. But she's a nice lady. We know she's a nice lady. Definitely respectable. I'm sure she's not happy about being on that list. Empty Sense says you got it, Fritz. Y'all are going crazy. That's not. This is. I actually thought y'all are going to be mad about this. Y'all are going wild over here more than I'm going wild. Ronald says I didn't really like it because I didn't even watch the whole thing. I didn't enjoy the video that Mr. Smelly made. I'm not saying it was a great video. I didn't even finish it. But again, to me, again, I hope that I addressed the issue. Again, what I think is important in the Frag Com and what I think that matters. Because, and again, I'm not necessarily trying to encourage myself, but again, individual fragrance reviewers and people who actually are telling you the composition and the creativity and the artistry and actually understanding you how the fragrance develops and transitions. Very few people are doing that anymore. Robes Await, I don't know if he took a vacation or hiatus. I don't know when he's going to be back. He was one of the OGs who was still doing that. We only have like a handful, maybe 10 reviewers who are still, as far as I know, we're still doing individual fragrance reviews in this community, and the views aren't there, so that does not encourage them or build them. And again, if you get more views, you get more ad money, then you're able to get more fragrances more easily, that kind of stuff. That's how it works. Instead, that's not where the viewership is going. So that's what I'm talking about. I didn't like it. Oh yeah, he definitely presented that topic. He definitely knew what was going to get the views and the clicks. That's for sure. Instead of the quality of their content. Yeah, he kind of was taking. I don't know how you could interpret it. He's kind of taking. I don't know. Do you think he was taking shots at them? He was. I don't know. Was he being lighthearted? Was he presenting it just as a fun video? Was he trying to rank them as in attractiveness? Do you feel like his video was actually ranked? I don't know. That's definitely open to interpretation. Ronald says, I would rather have seen Amazing Ladies, for example, but it's the show. He can do whatever he wants and explain himself. Yeah, he can, of course, do whatever he wants. What about a top 10 panty stain on video? Exactly, Fritz. We need creativity in this fragrance community, and I would watch that video. If you could make it funny or whimsical or a makeup video regarding that, that'd be a fun video. I'd watch that. Empty Sense says, nah, not wrong. We see your point. Okay, Empty says, I appreciate that. And I definitely don't want to offend. I definitely do not want to divide the community and divide people. I want people to come together. And again, I recognize that a lot of guys want to see what's attractive to ladies, and they want to wear fragrances that are attractive to the ladies. So a lot of guys, that's why they watch these ladies. But some ladies out there are actually reviewing who happen to be attractive and happen to actually be passionate about fragrances an awful lot. So there's definitely differences in individuals, that's for sure. Some have different motivations, for sure. But that's hard to judge. So that's hard to tell. Anyways, now see your point. Nikki Lumpsum says Fritz the Cat girls. Empty Sense says what? This is heresy. I think we do. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But we do live in a world where people. I won't get into that. People don't wear a lot of things anymore. There was a rebellion about not wearing, bras and stuff. So Micah says, I hope that's so. Unfortunately, Ronnie Bump, that's definitely getting the numbers, getting the clicks, getting the views. He knows people know what works. Gaza Be Thy Name says that was a horrible video from Mr. Smelly. I think he ran out of video ideas, so he decided to do that. So you think he just did it for views? His channel is usually good. Yeah, in the past and in general, I do like Mr. Smelly's video. I think he did take a big risk and again, maybe people don't get his sense of humor, or maybe people just didn't agree with his sense of humor and what he was doing. Um, yeah, it's an interesting topic. That's for sure. And he opened up a can of worms. He opened up to be criticized. He opened himself up to be attacked, which I guess takes some courage. Which I or you know would took some bravery, I guess you could say. But did he do the right video? In my opinion, if he did a top 10 video about people in the Frag Com who are good reviewers and trying to build people up and build the community up, would that have been perhaps a more worthwhile or positive, beneficial video? I think so. But this can of worm has been opened, and maybe it'll do the Frag Com some good because, again, some people are up in arms about Mr. Smelly, being rude. I don't know. If you think Mr. Smelly's rude, again, why don't you think that these ladies are rude who are making some of these types of videos? So, let's see. Hi from Slovakia. Slovakia, wonderful. What Dominique, welcome. How is my name often in your country? Dominique, it's usually spelled with a Q at the end, with QUE instead of the K. I don't see it too often around here, but I do know that it's a fairly common name. It's not extremely common, but it's fairly common. But not with the K. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody with the K at the end into their name with Dominic before. So, Fritz the Cat says, "Don't even watch those video reviewers." I don't watch those reviewers anymore in general, and I don't watch those videos in general. So I don't know if I have much skin in the game. It doesn't entertain me. I used to support and watch all kinds of videos, even if I disagreed or even if I didn't care for the topic of the video. I'm so busy. I have so little time, and I'm trying to put my time into things that matter. And yeah, I hear you. You just got to spend your time where it matters. So they hold more authenticity. Yeah, I'm being true. I'm being open. I have opened myself also to criticism. Not saying that there's a kinship with me, Mr. Smelly. I'm just saying that a lot of us need to be more open in the fragrance community. I know that not every video needs to be a drama video, and we got to focus on fragrance, and that's what really matters. But so many people, big fragrance reviewers and all that, don't really do lives. They don't really give people an opportunity to maybe see who they really are, or maybe see who they, more their personal feelings or personality. Again, I've already said this before, but there are so many of the really big fragrance reviewers. I don't know what their favorite fragrances are. I don't know what their top 10 fragrance. I mean, the fragrances that they actually like. There's so many top 10s that some of these people do that I don't know what they actually like, what they actually wear, what they genuinely like or even dislike. So some of these people, it's, to me, at least in my humble opinion, it's hard to see who they really are. It's hard to know. Genuine perspective. Yeah. Callie's Groom Room says, "What up, Ben? Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Callie's Groom Room. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome." And as y'all know, he's got a fragrance channel. Fritz the Cat says, "In general, British humor is very snarky." Yeah, people might not understand or might not appreciate, might not even like his sense of humor. I actually really like the beginning of a lot of his videos where he's like really sarcastic about a lot of things. I actually find a lot of those extremely hilarious. Sometimes less funny than others, but generally, I like his sense of humor, no doubt about that. But yeah, British humor is not in the past, and it was really liked, and it was a big deal. But these days, I'm not trying to say Mr. Smelly what he did was perfect or anything, but in general, humor is not liked, and somebody's going to be offended. Somebody's not going to be happy, no matter what you really do these days. Dan, Mr. Smelly is one hell of a guy. He is definitely one of those. Indeed, very dry and sarcastic. Absolutely, and people do not understand that these days, in general, or seem to like it. Empty Sense says, "Mr. Bean is God, not Mr." You like Mr. Bean, huh? Those movies. And then Nezia says, never heard of this smelly guy. Really? He's one of the biggest in the Frag Com. At least, again, that's the crazy thing. Again, somebody I know who I tried to be friends with about a year ago. And again, I'm not taking shots at her. She's a wonderful lady. I'm not even going to say who she is. She's not very popular either. Just a couple days ago said, wow, I never knew you had a channel. And they subscribed and they said, I like your content, essentially. And I tried to befriend them like 2 years ago, and I'm not a legend. I don't consider myself one in the community, but I've been going on for 3 years or more now. Consistently, I have almost 800 videos or more. And it's crazy that, in my opinion, that you wouldn't know who Mr. Smelly is. Maybe check him out. Maybe watch some of his videos. If you like fougères or classic fragrances and masculine fragrances, Mr. Smelly, my goodness, he's got you covered in a lot of ways. So, for sure. Anyways, Anezia says, never, I read that. Micah says, I just like how it went from Katie Puck to straight. See, that's kind of the problem. That's a great comment. That is a great comment. Kind of, you articulated what I was trying to say in one sentence, probably better than I did. We went from Katie Puckrick, who was witty. Katie Puckrick was smart. I think she's pretty, but again, the prettiness, she didn't push that in her videos. She did not wear shortcut shirts. And again, being attractive and drawing people in with that kind of stuff might not necessarily be a terrible thing, but the focus was on the fragrance. Katie Puckrick focused on the fragrance. That's what mattered. It wouldn't have offended me if Katie Puckrick wanted to, I don't know, wear something tight or do whatever the heck she wanted to do. Again, but she focused on fragrance. And us as a fragrance community, again, just need to encourage people to talk about their passion of fragrances instead of, kind of, I don't know, being shy or hiding away or wanting to move to another platform or whatever it is. We need to stay strong together. And that's essentially my message, because I feel like a lot of people, because of what's been going on with these ladies pushing these narratives and doing this type of content, it's where there's different fragrance reviewers who do cover all kinds of different content. But I feel like some of us have felt divided and almost like we don't even want to be associated perhaps with some of these people. Katie Pucker was great. I have watched some of her videos, and I've enjoyed them. And I really liked, she got me excited about like Artisan Parfumeur. And she could be a little bit witty and I guess you could say spicy these days. That's the term of the day, spicy, but in a good way. I think in a tasteful way. I think her video about it was Dzing, I think it was, by Les Artisans. If I remember right, she talked about being sweaty with some leather, like at a circus or something, and you could tell she was being a little bit naughty, but it was tasteful. It was good to me. So, Nezia says we'll check him out. Yeah, check out Mr. Smelly. Despite the drama, you might like some of his actual content. That's true, Ben. I appreciate your content because you focus on the fragrance. Yes, the fragrance is what matters. That's why if you're gonna watch a fragrance channel, and care about top 10s have their place. Yeah, top 10s can help you get introduced. Again, I've talked about how they are helpful. They can help you learn about a certain genre. Like, what if I was looking for tobacco fragrances and I didn't know where to look, and maybe I was just getting into fragrances and I didn't know anything about a certain type of fragrance like oud or any of these other notes like musk. Like, not everybody talks about musk DNA fragrances. And then I wanted to learn and get introduced to all these and pick which one I wanted to try and get introduced in a short time frame. There's a purpose for them, but again, YouTube promotes these and people are watching the top 10s and people are taking advantage of it. So that's why they do it. And some people don't feel like it rubs them the wrong way. So they can, they can keep making the top 10s. I guess it doesn't bother them. I tried to do the top 10s for a little while. I didn't do for like a week or so. And I felt like I was losing my soul. To me, I couldn't give you the details that I wanted. I was in a top 10. I can't tell you about all the important information. To me, that's very relevant if you're wanting to purchase a fragrance or that you actually want to learn about a fragrance. So, she wore tastefully low cut dresses. See, I don't even remember. Maybe she did, but I don't remember her ever being raunchy or anything like that. She was wonderful, and there's still wonderful ladies in the Frag Com. I'm not trying to talk down on the ladies. There's wonderful ladies doing wonderful things in this fragrance community. Not all of them are like this. There's only a couple, and they've stirred the pot, and now Mr. Smelly has really stirred the pot. So. And again, I don't know how many people are actually going to talk about this in the fragrance community, but I think that we actually need to, as a community, actually talk about things, because if more people were talking about these types of things, I mean, tag videos, yes, work, that's one thing. But if more people are actually talking about this, that would get us all to be more of a community and all to understand each other and maybe come from different points of view. For a lot of fragrance reviewers, for some reason, want to be silent. Not that they don't want to touch drama, but they're unwilling to even talk about the biggest and some of the most important topics of all time. And I mentioned this with, again, we're not going to focus on Creed too much, but with Creed reformulating Aventus and the drama, I mean, even I can't. There were very few channels who even talked about a Creed selling out their company. And one of the biggest sales, or the biggest, most popular niche company, the biggest news probably that you could ever imagine in the Frag Com, and almost nobody in the fragrance community even talked about it. And in the past, there was, again, with Jeremy, not trying to criticize Jeremy really, but he did some, not so good things in the past. And there were big topics and big things that happened, and almost nobody in the fragrance community ever talked about these things. And I could bring up some big things in Jeremy's past that almost nobody see. I mean, if you've been in the fragrance community, but not everybody seems to even know that these days even existed, because again, all these everybody didn't get on the same page. People weren't sharing the information, and I guess didn't know that these things had ever happened. So anyways, but I don't know if you were in the Frag Com. I don't know how you couldn't know. But anyways, Ben, I'm not really trying to throw punches. I'm just trying to open up the discussion and put it all out. So I'm not really. I'm not hating on anybody. I want us all to be friends. So I just enjoyed it, the way she described fragrances. Yeah, Katie Puckrick was great. I would love to see. I wish she hadn't have quit, and I wish that she would still hear, and I wish that she was more popular than Jeremy ever was, and I wish that she would have been an influence for the fragrance community of today. She's very missed. So I don't know what happened there. I wish I knew, but Katie should be out. She should be the queen. I don't know who's the king, but she should be the queen of the Frag Com. Anyways, Gent Sense is good, poking fun about how serious reviewers are. Yeah, some people just lighthearted and they just have fun, take fun, and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's a good way to approach life, I suppose. See, has he joked about this or said anything about this? I don't know if he has. I haven't seen or paid attention yet. Empty Sense says she was one of the best. Absolutely, Katie Puckrick was, and still is. Her content is still relevant to today. A lot of her reviews don't cover the most modern of fragrances, but you could still find value in her videos. Empty Sense says, I read that. Top 10s are good for general. Yeah, they're good for introduction, general, basic info. That's true. Very true, Casey. Micah says, yeah, sorely missed. Absolutely. Fritz DeCat says 1 million privé. And again, that Katie Puckrick topic, again, I don't know how more clear I can be. I don't have anything against the ladies. I encourage the ladies, and there's a lot of good ladies out there doing wonderful things. But this is an interesting topic for sure. And again, I won't say it again, but I've said it. The top, let's see this. 1 million privé. All your answers solved. Yeah, that's a fantastic fragrance. You can't go wrong with that one. Fritz DeCat says 2016 in the earlier batch. In regards to Aventus, yeah. But then it's overpriced and you have to pay a fortune for it on eBay. So I almost don't even encourage people to go for Aventus at all anymore. No. There's Napoleon Cologne by Zoha, and I have a review. I forget if the review is out yet, but Panara by Boise 1920. If you're gonna ready to spend that kind of money, or if you like that a little bit of smoke and a little bit of that oak moss, Hoctavat by Nishané, go for stuff like that. 1 million Privé, warm apple pie. It's really good. I could see maybe where the apple pie. It doesn't. I can see where you could get that feeling. I don't think there's apple in that fragrance though, if I remember right. Ma never liked Creed. Charlatans. Yeah, they probably weren't even honest to begin with. Some of their fragrances are not really original fragrances, and they were hyped up by the Frag Com forever. I certainly never had a good taste in my mouth. Then they reformulated. Then they made their bottle sizes smaller. They never really fixed their cap issues. Creed is just, some people again in Fragcom praise them. They've had one of the worst imaginable track records as far as fragrance go, and it's amazing how much money they make and how much bottles they sold. But as far as a fragrance company goes, they seem to be like, it's like you can't mess this up any almost worse than you can. Can you mess this up worse? I don't know. Maybe you could, but they messed it up. Never let Fritz says, Casey Jones says, what's the worst thing? No, we're not going to get. I don't know if I should get into that, but you could look into it if you want to. He's deleted his videos regarding all of that stuff, and he has squeaked his channel squeaky clean of that kind of stuff. But I won't talk about it or get into it, but it's either between, I don't even know what I can say on YouTube. Things are going to get me in trouble. I can't even say certain words, and then my content gets flagged. Y'all wouldn't believe, but I get flagged all the time for even saying like sensual or provocative or seductive and stuff like that. Anyways, probably the biggest two controversies he's been in was a I don't know, how should I say this? There was a lady who might have not consented, possibly regarding him. Don't know if it's true. Don't know if it's not. But that was something big. And in this type of world, there have people who have lost their jobs and all kinds of things just by a lady saying something. So he got away with that pretty scotch-free. I'm not saying he was bad or wrong, and I have lots of opinions regarding that issue. We aren't going to open up that. This is a fragrance-focused channel. But the other thing was him begging for Patreon money and focusing on getting donations and acting like he desperately needed help and kind of asking for some sympathy. And then once he got some money, do you know what Jeremy did? I don't know. Some people say he rented it, but he got a Ferrari. I don't know if he sold it. I don't know if he stopped showing it on his channel, but he got a Ferrari and he started bragging about the Ferrari after he had begged for money for help. And he is acting like he was going homeless or something. And he begged for money. And that's one of these reasons why some people act that, like he's a saint. And again, I want to give everybody a chance, a second chance, a third chance. But he could be nice to you. He could be nice to you if you go to a fragrance convention or whatever and all that. But again, I don't want to judge somebody for the things they've done in the past. So I don't know. I think he can be redeemed. I think he can turn over a new leaf. I think he can do good things and great things. But when somebody does something that bad, as far in the fragrance community or as far as a YouTuber goes, to me, I don't know how he ever made a comeback. His channel, should have crashed and burned for something like that. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't know how you get away with doing something like that. Beg for donations, get who knows how much money, 100,000. How much money did he get? 200, 500,000. I don't know how much money he got. And then you get a Ferrari, and then you brag about it to your audience on a fragrance channel. Okay, I will stop talking about that. To me, that was a big deal. A big deal. Ooh. Definitely not Apple. Okay, let me catch up with the comments. Jeremy's entertainer. He's after money. He's not a part of the fragrance community, plain and simple. I can see that point of view. I certainly do agree. But he talks about fragrance, and I know what you're saying, but he talks about fragrance. So I don't know. Do you consider him one, or I don't know. How do you how do you approach it? Micah says, "Gotta love this mantra." Yeah, Fritz to get love. Gotta share the love. Fritz the cat says Jeremy was the first video I see on Frag Com. I didn't know Frag Com existed. Yeah, Jeremy Fragrances, for a lot of people, he gets YouTube pushes him, and he's the biggest. And for a lot of people, that's their first taste of the fragrance community, and for a lot of people, that's all they know. It's very true. Cigar says, "Oh, good, you're inside. I hope that your microphone doesn't pick up the ambient sounds in the camp." Yeah, it's noisy out there. For some reason, there's kids around here always screaming, and it gets dark and mosquitoes. And again, I try to focus here on a live. I hope that y'all like my little setup, and this really helps me to be able to. I focus with lighting and a microphone, hopefully better quality. Again, my videos are still going to be recorded outdoors, even though, especially in the summer, I'll be sweaty. I'll be a little. It's hot out there, so yeah. Hopefully you're not picking up any weird ambient noises. If you smell what? Campiar, don't be alarmed if you. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If that's another joke you're shooting at me. Empty Sin says, really, I mean, okay. Kelly's Groomer says, definitely not Apple credited. Yeah, but you get that feeling. I can see where you get that feeling, though. Kind of that smooth, sweet aroma from a fresh cooked apple pie. I know what you're saying. I can see that. Casey says Creed is overhyped. Absolutely, it's a problem. Still to this day, people are blind buying their first niche fragrances. That's Creed Aventus, or Creed Green Irish Tweed, and this stuff because of all these fragrance reviews in the past. And fragrance reviewers need to talk, especially if any of you big fragrance reviewers who have ever hyped Creed or Green Irish Tweed or Aventus, you need to make a video addressing that Creed is no longer the company it used to. They've been sold out. They've made tons of problems in the past that you've never talked about. At least help your audience not to be cheated out of their money or betrayed. And they've already played the flanker game, and we're about to probably get, I don't know, maybe a synthetic fragrance, maybe a cop-out cheap fragrance. Who knows what Creed's going to do? But they did the anniversary edition, which was a testing the water with an Aventus leather fusion fragrance that was probably cheaper to make. And Viking Cologne was pretty well made, pretty finely made, but still the price is absurd for what it is. And Creed isn't going good places. They don't know what to do with themselves. They don't seem to want to make a new creation or take a new risk. And I don't know, are we going to get another Aventus flanker? Are we going to get a flanker of something else? I don't know. With Invictus being so popular, I wouldn't be amazed if they did something as bad as doing using the same notes and a similar composition, and maybe discontinuing original vetiver and original Santal, and remaking those fragrances and repackaging them. I wouldn't be amazed if Creed did something like that these days, because most modern noses and modern people don't even seem to be familiar with original vetiver or original Santal anymore. I don't know. That's just some thoughts. That's just some random thoughts. Casey says Floris Guerlain, Eaton Bob, Penhaligon's are good. Yeah, those are fragrances that have a history. Those fragrances have a legacy, and they have proven themselves through time and history, and they make some good fragrances. If you're looking for a fragrance that actually, probably made fragrances for some of your grandparents and maybe older, those are good companies. Those are good brands. And Floris is great. I love some of their fragrances. Let's see, Cigar Weaver and her periwinkle blue. Well, how do you say that? Blue space caravan? What? Where are you from, my friend? Are you from outer space? We're bringing the big guns to the shindig. I put a lot out here today, and again, I try not to stir the pot. Maybe I have stirred the pot, but I felt like these things needed to be said. I've been actually thinking about 3 days. worried that I'm going to say the wrong thing, or I'm not going to be what I say is not going to come across in the right way. So, again, I care about people, and I care about this Frag Com, and I don't know what some of these. I mean, these people have these big channels. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Micah says we would all be better for it. Yeah, that's for sure. Uh, more people just move on. Yeah, I guess they do. They just don't spend their time and they don't think about it. I guess they just keep going on. Oh, there's a flagging bin. I'm not amazed. This video might be flagged. This video might be taken down. I might get my first strike this time. I don't know. Maybe I will. But I'm generally pretty PC as far as YouTube as almost you can get. Bryn says, Micah says Florissant Penhaligans. Yeah, they are. They're pretty darn good. Some people they don't like how some of the EDT Penhaligans they don't last terribly long. Some of them are like last for 4 hours. But again, they're a little bit more natural and they're EDTs. So take that into consideration. Jeremy Fragrance got he essentially did, but it didn't seem to have much of an effect on him. And essentially, that's what happened, Casey. Yeah, but somehow he was able to. I don't know. Maybe he called up lawyers, and maybe lawyers threatened, and I don't know what happened. I don't know all the details. I don't know, but I do know a little bit of what happened, and somehow he got out scotch-free, and almost nobody talked about it. And it should have been what it. I mean, almost nobody in fragrance community ever talked about it. Bigger fragrance channels. And I generally don't try to approach those types of topics, but if you're concerned for people's welfare or those types of issues, why didn't anybody in Frag Com talk about that? I don't know. You tell me. Fritz the Cat says, I just got rotten seafood from a Mexican restaurant. That's not fun. I need to call them before. Yeah, that's not good at all. The only time I ever got, again, I love Popeyes, but about the only time I ever got anything rotten was like years and years and years ago. It was like rice, I think it was like rice and beans or something. It was a side dish, and it just was bad, rancid. Said, lol, he just lost his mind in 3D. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Micah. I'm sorry, 3D5. Micah says, cigar. Oh, I got lots of comments. I have a lot to catch up on. My comment was a reference to the comment recently left you. I'm sorry. There's so much to juggle around here, cigar. Frag channels, I mean. Okay. I'm trying to piece all this together. Oh, the person, I didn't see that comment. There's loads of personality disorder riddled hustlers. Yes, there are swindlers and as they say, grifters, and there's YouTube as a big opportunity for it. And for some reason, a lot of people do that. There are 2 channels I avoid like the plague. Red Flag Central. Yes, there are some people who, take advantage of people for sure in general, and don't share good information or any information. That's for sure. So no apology. Someone needed to say it. I felt like it needed to be said. The things I said today, and I want to be influenced for good. And I felt like I have a personal responsibility to say what, at least try to be somewhat of a good influence for Frag Com, as far as I can be, and far as I know how. That's all I know how to. The best good I know how I can possibly do it. Empty says Caron was a good house, but just bought out. Yeah, Caron did have a rich history, but yeah, recently I don't know what they've been doing with themselves. A Gentleman Classic, absolutely. They did that with 1.7 and 3.5. Go for 2.5. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Micah. Of Creed, yes. Well, the manager was very arrogant, denied the possibility his food was bad. Yeah, but what can you do? Yeah, restaurants will probably be very offended. I don't know if it's true, but movies seem to say that the French are very particular, maybe perfectionist regarding their food. And if you were to say that to a French chef, He'd be very offended as far as I know. Micah says, lol. Yeah, Micah, you should have brought it back. Yeah, you should have brought it to him and said, eat this. Eat it in front of my face. Fritz the Cat says, going to buy ginger ale. Yeah, hopefully that helps your stomach. Don't get sick over there, my friend. Just in case. Yep. Ginger ale does help a little bit. Some people swear by it. Johan Riviera says, Ben, how you doing? Good. Or how are you? Good, brother. I always want to say what's good. All's good, and I'm doing good. So yeah, how you doing, my friend? We're about to talk about some new fragrances. But we got a big conversation going today. Hopefully there's not too many new fragrances, but we'll talk about that a little bit here in a second. Lil Ben strikes back. Yes, I don't know. Am I the Empire? I don't know. The Empire Strikes Back. I don't know. Maybe I'm the dark side. Maybe I'm sure somebody out there thinks I'm just like some little basement, or I'm some little gremlin, and it probably thinks somebody out there probably thinks I'm a nasty person, but I'm not. Lost to translation. The Backyard Circus comment regards to short. Okay. Circus, huge. Oh yeah. Everybody seems to like the backyard, and I moved my recording setup, and you're gonna get to see the yard in a different way. I hope that y'all like it. Hopefully that does. It's not a negative on my channel. There, you get to see less of the plants, and you get to see more of a green, like grass, but it looks really good. I actually like how the setup came out. And because of my lighting setup is even better, my recording kind of sets the contrast, and it almost looks like I'm forward. And that's why some people say, is that a green screen or something? Because the contrast, if you get the lighting right, is so good. You almost stand out of your videos, and what's behind you almost looks like a background. I actually like when that happens, but some people don't think my background is natural, and it is. If I had the talent to make a background look that real and consistent, that kind of talent with the quality of recording, I should get. I mean, I should have some kind of camera job if I could do that. Some kind of work. I don't know, work for a movie company or something. So we've been solo. To juggle, ride ponies around, snorting high-end fragrances. You must chat to as many people as people you forget the details. I get. You're not a nasty person. I don't ride ponies, but I know what you're saying. I'm out here in the wild, but yeah. Micah says 305 is Miami. Okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes there's these jokes and I don't always catch on. But Jeremy currently resides. Yeah, he does. I'm not planning to go to Miami, but I don't know. Maybe we'll cross paths. I don't know. He probably doesn't remember me anymore. But again, he did make a video attacking my channel and my idea, so he must have known who I was at one point. He probably doesn't remember anymore. Probably doesn't care. He's too successful. I'm too unimportant for him. Probably. Glad you're speaking out your mind about things that you have issues with online. Good for you. Yeah, I think more people need to do that. If it's important to you and you think it's an issue, bring out the topic and try to be an influence for good. If you feel like something's important, and I feel like this is a big topic. So, and it's doing some strange videos, especially. I won't get into that. I try not to watch those. I've had some people on Instagram show me some videos about him. I mean, there's the famous one about him flipping over a table and breaking, I don't know, it was like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 worth of fragrance. And him just not even caring. But that probably doesn't matter too much to him. But I don't even try to pay attention to that. Micah says, and is doing so. I read that. I'm a fan of the backyard. A lot of people seem to be. Gaza. Thank you. Wait, what did Jeremy attack? No, that was really early in my channel. I've talked about that before. And that's one reason I knew that Frag Com had problems. And it's continued. There's people who are not willing to speak about things that are important and not willing to help defend people who are doing the good things or trying to focus on the art of fragrance. I won't get into that too much. I've talked about it before, but I mention it from time to time because so many people just don't know and don't seem to care. I actually considered at the time downloading his video because I thought he probably would delete it, and he did delete the video, but my response video to his video is still out. It's older. I spoke more slowly. I probably didn't articulate myself perfectly. He essentially in his video attacked my little motto, wear what you love. He essentially said that you should trust what he says you should wear because of Jeremy reasons. He didn't like being attractive and um, trusting him and kind of like fitting in and all that stuff. And I wasn't even talking about oud fragrances or strange fragrances or disgusting fragrances or anything like that. I just wanted to make my little motto where make a channel where everybody could feel included, and no matter what kind of fragrance they wore, because there's beauty in almost any fragrance, and we just have to understand the fragrance and find the fragrances that work for us, and that's what really matters. And maybe Jeremy didn't think that. Maybe thought that took away from trusting him or his authority as a content creator. I thought it was very strange that I only had 500 subscribers at the time, and that he would make a response video essentially to me. I thought that was very strange that he even knew or even cared. And then somebody in Frag Com came and defended him, and nobody in Frag Com supported me, made a video response, talked about this issue. And for all as I know, they agree with Jeremy that if somebody who smelled a lot of fragrances or and knows what fragrances are popular, that you should just trust them and blind buy them and just like the fragrance because you trust some fragrance influencer. That's essentially what that was about. So anyways, let's talk about the new fragrance releases. I've never watched this channel, always got unpleasant vibes. Well, you're not alone. There's some times where things get kind of unhinged. I can't make heads or tails. Yeah. No need to be sorry. Run. No, I'm not looking for conflict. I'm not looking for problems. Nothing of the sort. No, Micah. Some people would take that in a wrong way, thinking that I'm after to hurt or damage or bad things, and definitely not my intention at all. Absolutely not. So the new fragrances, let's talk about those. Prada Luna Rosa Ocean. Are y'all excited for that? I'll get my nose on it. It's a blue fragrance, probably copying YSL Le Parfum, probably from the Prada brand line. That's probably what they're doing. I mean, I'll try it. I'll see if I can get my nose on it, but I'm honestly not too excited. There's a new fragrance from Molinard called Habanita. Looks fun. I don't know the inspiration behind this, but it looks kind of exotic. I'll read you the notes real quick. Let's see this one. Geranium mastic lentisk notes. If you tell me if you want me to talk about those, what those are, and explain. But petitgrain, we got some vetiver, some jasmine, rose, moss, sandalwood, amber. And they describe it as an amber. Probably has somewhat of a Chypre influence. Looks nice. And somebody who wants a modern ambery, maybe Chypre-like fragrance, that might be interesting. So there's some new brands like Collage I've never tried. There's a new DS and Durga, and I've spoken pretty highly about some of their fragrances, and I respect their house pretty well. The new one's called Desert Paintbrush. This one is notes of cedar, gardenia, hyacinth, mid notes of spray paint, Desert Paintbrush. I thought they were going to be talking about a plant, but they actually supposedly spray paint as bubble gum. Oh no. This one might be controversial. This one might be a strange modern futuristic fragrance. And the people who like Dis and Durga, like I've talked really highly about bow makers and cowboy grass. They might not be happy with this one. It has sand, iris, and juniper in the base. I like sand, iris, and juniper and hyacinth, and some of these things work, but spray paint and bubble gum, not so sure about that. So let me catch up with the comments. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning of my fragrance journey, Jeremy helped me out. Yeah, I mean, you can learn something from Jeremy's videos. I'm not trying to tear him down, but you can't learn a lot, in my opinion. But was very briefly as I moved on. There's those people help you out more for sure. Fritz the Cat says, "Start some funk." I could. No. We're not doing that, man. Well, Daver says, "Hey, Benny boy, how are you, brother? Your channel rocks. Love it. Thank you. Appreciate that." And other channel reaching him, and channel reaches the people. Don't change anything you do. Oh, I'm here for you. I'm not changing myself. I'm going to be authentic and true to myself and all that good stuff. Micah says, Joy and Seb make solid content. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Micah says, haven't seen any uploads from Joy. Has he? I haven't. I need to keep up better. I do watch his channel from time to time. Yeah, some of these guys haven't been releasing so much recently. Um, I think that people with the summer have been watching less. I'm not accusing him of just taking a break because people are watching less, but some people do take breaks. And again, Robzo Wait hasn't put out a video in a couple months, and that's what I'm worried about. These people who should be getting a lot of support, if not full-time careers, because of their of how talented or experienced and the audience that they've created. And some of these people coming in here and playing on the algorithms and some of the stuff we've talked about, the panty dropper type of stuff. And I could see why you'd be discouraged if that. I don't know if that's what's going on, but I could see why somebody would be. Let's see here. Molinards are okay. I've heard good things about the patchouli and the patchouli vanille, but don't hear too much talk. But I have a fee. Not Micah. What do you mean? Daver says I'm wearing the new Dior Elixir. What do you think about it? Micah says view. Yeah, vanilla patchouli looks good. Micah says and Yvonne. How do you say that? Oh, lavandre, like a lavender fragrance. I haven't tried that. Bryn says Joy did some uploading yesterday. Okay, I'll have to check it out, see what he's got going on. Micah says, guess my bell is broken. YouTube has problems, y'all know. And they have some agendas. Thanks, Bryn. Water under a bridge. Absolutely, yeah. Seems like a cash. Yeah, it's going to be. A lot of designer brands are becoming less and less original. It was already a problem in the past, but if anybody makes a popular fragrance, like Invictus, everybody is going to copy. And sometimes fragrances get copies of copies because another fragrance who was a copy to begin with became so popular, like Azara Wanted by Night. People start copying that fragrance. And most people who buy fragrances are not the better. So it's all supply and demand. If people stop buying this stuff, they'll start making more original fragrances. They'll start making more creative fragrances. But if people continue to buy this stuff, especially when they don't have to be creative and they don't have to take risks, these brands are going to continue what they're doing. And that's the sad truth of it. So they should stick to soapy fragrances. Yeah, Prada makes some, has the soapy signature DNA, and they do it really well. Johan says, Ben, have you been highly disappointed with the designer fragrance wise? Very few of them are exciting to me or awful. Yeah, that Polo green cologne, I gave it a lukewarm review. Maybe I shouldn't even have been more critical of it. I'm not sure which fragrance you're exactly talking about. I saw that Dolce & Gabbana came out with like the Eau de Parfum version. I thought the original was bad, and they didn't improve the presentation, and it's probably bad as well. So there's a lot of fragrances that have come out recently that I honestly don't have any interest really in trying. So, so you didn't join the club. I guess I'm not in the right club, or people don't include me into the club because I've never been included in the cool fragrance people's club. If I join people's lives, Some of these, I won't name who they are, but there's been people, and I've just asked their scent of the day, or I've just been nice and I've gotten their lives, like in like live chats like this. And I've been like, "Oh, what's your scent of the day?" And I don't know if these people really knew who they were, or maybe they just branded me as a bad person because of the Jeremy thing. I don't know, but I just asked their scent of the day or what they're wearing, and it shocked me. One of the people actually looked up to them, and they were like offended. But maybe because I wasn't going along with the exact same line of conversation that they were talking about, or wasn't praising them, or I don't know what this person was thinking, but I hardly watch their channel anymore. But they're considered one of the OGs. Some people might consider them a legend. They're pretty successful in Frag Com, and I've been nice, still nice to them. But people are funny out there. People are very funny. Ben says, "Hey, finally got Oud Mineral." Oh, you did. You got the Oud Mineral from Tom Ford. Anyone can wear it. Don't understand the dislike for the fragrance. Yeah, it's got a little bit of grittiness, like a mineraliness to it. Has a lighter version of Megamare. Oh yeah, Megamare. I remember that one. But more coconut and a sunscreen vibe. Yeah, it's Oud Mineral to me was like a rainy day, like the scent you get off the pavement or the road. Um, the asphalt. That to me, that's kind of the smell you got out of Oud Mineral, but it's still nice to me. If you like that vibe, you definitely gotta try Vodka on the Rocks by Killian. If you like that type of vibe, you gotta definitely try one or the other. I mean, if you like Oud Mineral and you haven't tried Vodka on the Rocks, try Vodka on the Rocks. If you tried Vodka on the Rocks and you haven't tried Oud Mineral, give them both a go. Micah, good to see you. Empty says, Ben, fragrance, Matt, dollar cents, solid reviews. Yeah, there's a lot of good out there. There's some good ones. I have a feeling that I should make a top 10 list about fragrance reviewers I still watch and I still support. I don't want to single out who I don't watch, but I wouldn't try to, because that might be seen as negative, and I don't want to take away from people, but I would, and there's too many to name, and I don't want to leave people out, but I almost want to, maybe I'll make it a tag video, like 10 fragrance reviewers you still watch. There's still some good people out there. There's still some good ones. But a lot of these bigger channels and some of these people, and I just don't support them anymore. The funny thing is, when they first started, I supported a lot of them, but Ben, you are rocking it today. Well, I appreciate that. I'm definitely here. My mind is going full speed. Micah says Oud Mineral is an acquired taste. You have to like salty aquatics. Yeah, some people are particular on the saltiness, and yeah, to me, Oud Mineral isn't that unique or that strange, but some people feel like it is, and to each their own. To me, Oud Mineral is not a very strange fragrance, but I could see where it might not fit their vibe. It's not a citrusy, happy, exactly like a happy fragrance, or it's not a mass appealing, fun, fruity fragrance or anything like that. So, John says I was denied entry. Oh. Fritz DeCat says mismatching fragrance caps is my favorite thing about fragrances. It's oddly you find that funny that your fragrances, which ones fit and all these odd combinations. That's I've never thought about that before. That could be fun. Johan says Oud Mineral is tremendous. That's and Squid. Oh yeah, Squid by Zoologist. You might want to try that one as well. That's for sure. Casey says, who are the influencers that you look up to? I don't know. I don't want to be rude, but even when I got into Frag Com, I never saw myself as a follower or as a fan of too many people. There were some people who I thought were good, and I still respected them. And I've talked about a few of them. Centrifugal Force is one that still makes content. Dan, not Dan, but I think they both had the name. Not talking about Mr. Smelly. It was I just mentioned him a little bit a second ago. My Mickers. I thought he was a pretty cool, authentic guy. And Dre Doc, some of the older fragrance reviewers, a little bit older. Those were some of the guys I look up to. Centrifugal Force still makes content. He's still a really cool guy. I think it was Dre Doc came back for a little while. I haven't seen some of his content in a while. But I used to enjoy again, I'm not taking shots at anybody, but Max Forte still pretty good channel, I think, and some of these people, Sebastian over there at Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews, his top tens are still fairly helpful and pretty give you a little bit of information. His content's still pretty nice. So I don't know if there's anybody who's been like an inspiration. I didn't make my channel trying to copy anybody. I didn't make my channel because anybody told me to make a channel. I actually told one person in the fragrance community that I tried to be friends with. I won't say who they are. I'm not trying to take away from them. And I told them that I was going to make a fragrance channel. They didn't say great. They didn't say awesome. They didn't give me advice. They didn't ask me what my name was going to be so they could shout me out. I mean, I'm not expecting anything like that, but they just ignored the comment. So that's how it works. Don't do 60 top 10. It's been done, I hear. Yeah, I mean, if you do like one of those videos a year, I wouldn't blame you because people want to see those, and people and you might want to see, in your opinion, what are some attractive fragrances. I mean, once a year, that's fine. But if you make 20 videos a year, top 10s, about essentially the same topic, we know what you're doing. And some of these people, that's about the only content that they make. And that's some of the stuff we're talking about. It's funny business. Nobody beats Scentland. He's an OG. Scentland's a legend, absolutely. Scentland, the land of scents. Hopped up, yep, with a bottle of wine and sometimes his bathrobe. He's a cool guy. Micah says, I remember him. His videos are gold. Yes, little Polo Club. That's the name of the fragrance. Oh, okay. Nezia says, what about The Hobbit? We're not going to get into movie reviews, but I didn't like The Hobbit. I have lots of opinions on stuff. So saw the Rambo vid, lol. His Rambo. The UK guy, Scent Apprentice is an acquired taste, and added a bonus. He actually worked at Creed. Yes, Scent Apprentice. Some of his content is witty and is good. I still watch him from time to time. Some of his videos are gold, and I do like them, but I do need to catch up and see if he's made anything I liked. I remember his review of T-Rex by Zoologist. Fragrance Apprentice. That video put a smile on my face. That was a fun video. A little bit of entertaining video, but something that if you're a frag head, you probably would find funny. Yeah, says this, not his. Yeah, some people don't like his taste in fragrances. I can see that. Some reviewers, I'm not taking shots at Fragrance Apprentice, but it's kind of something that I see, and I almost fall into the trap of you have people who are your friends and might keep coming back to your videos, but you don't really buy for new fragrances, or it doesn't look like you buy fragrances that you're really enthusiastic about. You get on to the new designer fragrance game and you try to review the newest designer fragrance that comes out, and that's some of these people, that's what they almost always do. And again, that's nothing about Fragrance Apprentice. It's just in general. No, I'm not trying to take shots at fragrance reviewers in person or in general. So I don't want to get into all that, but yeah, it's people. And then if you don't like somebody's taste and they don't keep buying new fragrances and reviewing new fragrances, maybe you don't want to watch them. I'm just trying to say, I see your point of view. I liked. Okay. Do you like Essence? Kind of a nerd. He's nice. I think he's been pretty nice to most people. He did. There was. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. Johan says, choices like Atkinson's a little too much. I like some Atkinson's. I loved Oud Save the King. They have some good ones, but I know what you're saying. They're a little bit strong or a little bit too maybe Middle Eastern for you. Nezia says, no, I meant that UK guy looks. Oh, well, I'm not going to criticize anybody's looks, and I don't know about that. I don't even think he's particularly short. No. I forgot his name. I'm not sure who you're talking about then. See, Johan says, I respect him because he's like you, that he's not afraid to take shots at Creed. Yeah, it's like you got to call it like it is. You got to. It's Creed is made. Yeah, Fragrance Apprentice has brought out some awareness about Creed. He has. He's done some of that, but in general, most of these fragrance reviewers have not. Most of these fragrance reviewers have not made a video, even commentary about the issue. It's George Nizia. Okay, I need to be more aware. My mind is not connecting the dots. Fritz the Cat says, well, it's just when a reviewer seems like 100% of every fragrance, shows a reviewer seems to like. Yeah, that's one of the things too. And I brought up that topic in the past as well. To understand what somebody likes or dislikes. And again, it's important as a fragrance reviewer, in my humble opinion. And again, there's different types of reviewers. There's people who share more of like a personal fragrance channel where they just share you what they like and they don't like. And there's people who are actually try to be like reviewers like me, more of a critic. And I do like to share some of my personal opinion more at the end of a fragrance review, but I do try to step outside of a fragrance and understand it and understand what other people would like. And that's one of the reasons I talk about the compliment factor. That's also a part of that. Like, is this going to be appealing or attractive to other people? But yeah, I see what you're saying there. It's, again, people want to be nice and people don't want to offend people. And in general, people are going to criticize you more for disliking a fragrance than they ever would with you liking everything. Most people aren't going to be this analytical or think about fragrances this much. So they can get away with it. Even if they dislike certain fragrances, and they never mention it, it's probably going to help the views on their channel because they never, if you make a video and review Dior Sauvage and tell people you don't like it, you probably hurt your channel a lot. And that's probably one reason that I'm not, massively popular. I give George cred for being artsy. Yeah. He's got his flair. He's in film, right? He's in the film industry. George, he's different. Yeah, I like people who share. We need more people who share their authentic selves and personality and who they are. Share some of their wit or some of their humor. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. What's your favorite Parfums de Marly? I probably Hobdon, but I do like Ojon and Carlisle as well. My favorite used to be Leighton Exclusive, but they reformulated it, and I think it's terrible now. It's worse than it used to be. So if you're looking at Parfums de Marly Leighton or Leighton Exclusive, I'd say get the original Leighton. Honestly, I found Tinzion Terenzi Chiron, and it's more expensive. Well, I guess it's about the same. But you can get Parfums de Marly on sale for about $150 or so if you look at the right places. But anyways, my only Parfums de Marly is going to be sold because I don't want redundancy. I don't want duplicates of something that gives me a similar feel, and something that I already have too many fragrances for my own good. I don't need something that's going to collect dust because I have something else that I prefer over it. So my only Parfums de Marly is out the door. I don't think I'm going to buy Leighton. If they make a Herod exclusive version, I might fall in love with it. I do like leather fragrances, and the spicy cinnamon, and in the vanilla, and the things that were going into Herod. So I don't know. I might get that one in the future if they decide to make it. I think a lot of people want it. For some reason, they made Pegasus exclusive. Again, I don't know how popular Pegasus is and how well Pegasus sells. But as far as the fragrance community goes, Pegasus is one of the least popular from the house, as far as I know. So, I don't care for summer or winter. What are your hands down favorite? I would try Carlisle, Ojon, or Hobdon. Hobdon is an acquired taste, not for everybody. So I would say probably get a sample of Carlisle or Ojon. See which one you like better. I think Carlisle is perfectly unisex, and I actually recommend it to very confident ladies. So if you like something that's more maybe masculine, I don't know. Ojon's not particularly masculine, but maybe the Ojon might be better for you. I'd say one of those. One of those. If you tend to like fougères, again, I don't know your taste. If you tend to like something classically aromatic, you're probably going to love Galloway. So try Galloway. And honest like Ben. Yes, got to be honest. I mean, that's what these fragrance reviews are about. Helping people understand, giving people perspective. And I mean, if you're not, again, that gets into it. Like, anyways, so many people need to share their information, need to show what they know, need to, I don't know, think about fragrance in their reviews. And that's why full length reviews are so important, because you're not going to get these kinds of details out of probably a top 10 video. I appreciate this take on his view. I'm a fan of the fragrance in general. Yeah, Dior Homme. Yeah, you might like it. I was pretty negative about Dior Homme 2020 as well. I think it was a different fragrance, and they should have made a completely different fragrance and a different line, or they should have made it a flanker. They should have made it a little fresher and called it the Dior Homme Eau Fresh or something like that. But they already had the Dior Homme Eau and some of that, or maybe they should have added a little bit of vetiver. That type of DNA with that black pepper would have been fun with some vetiver, and maybe they should have made a flanker, and gave it some oak moss or something, and maybe made a Dior Homme Fougère version, something like that. Dior Homme Eau Boisé, something like that. It would have been fun, but they took away the iris and all that, and changed the DNA. I wasn't happy about it either. So probably a lost sense of smell page. So I don't really matter. Johan says, have you checked out the latest Nichane Entree Shim? Heard very good things. I want to get my hands on it. Have not reviewed it yet. It's the same line as Neff's, which I was underwhelmed. Yeah, some of the newer aquatic ones, I understand why some people like that style of DNA. But there were some of those, the blue bottle and the one in the purple. I can never say them right. Let me see if I can look them up here real quick. I tried one of them, and I love the House of Nichane. I think they make some really good fragrances. It was called Edge or Edgy, the EGE one. I wouldn't recommend it, but some people like that stuff. So Killian smells like smokers. Motel room, truly awful. Ooh, shots taken. I liked apple brandy. I think it's discontinued. And I think there's a new apple brandy on the rocks. I am excited to try that fragrance. But yeah, I'm not trying to, I don't want to, disenfranchise people, but most Killians I'm not super crazy about for the price either. So yeah, not my favorite house. I like Nichane much more. But see the truth. Probably okay. I'm trying to catch up with the comments. Top 10 fragrances waiting McDonald's drive-through. Most viewed YouTube video. Yeah, it might not be high quality. Ben, what's your favorite What You Saint Laurent? I'm not really sure. Tuxedo is great. Caban doesn't last the longest, but it's nice. Those are their niche. They're high end. Their private line. But I don't really connect to a lot of their designer fragrances. Londo Wheat de L'Homme was great, but they reformulated it, so I don't know. I need to get the Le Homme Extreme and see if I really like that one. I got the Le Homme Le O, or the O version. It was pretty good. It's a nice, clean fragrance. Could wear it to the office. Could even wear it at a wedding. It was fancy and clean. But I don't know. To me, that's something doesn't really get me excited, but it works. It worked. It was a good one. Casey says, I like Bond number 9 unique scents, not a clone house. Expensive though. Maybe Bond number 9 has gotten better. I haven't tried many of their newer releases, but in the past, I thought their quality was poor for the price. I liked Ches Bond. Again, I've mentioned that a time or two, but again, I wouldn't pay more than, honestly, I I'd give $100 for it. I wouldn't even want to pay 150. But Bond number 9, maybe they have some winners. In the past, they had Andy Warhol, which was a great fragrance. And that's one of the. And they had Montauk and New Harlem, and that were great and really got them on the scene on in the fragrance community. Even Bleecker, they still make Bleecker Street, but that also got them a little bit of popularity. So I haven't heard too. There's like a New York one or a New York City one, and a Boulevard maybe. Like what was it? One called like Copper Street or something like that. There's a couple of them that I've heard good things about that I need to get my nose on. So, Y by YSL smells like a shopping mall. I didn't like Y by YSL either. I thought it was a terrible release, but supposedly the new Le Parfum is really good. But I heard there wasn't a crazy amount of hype for the original Y, but there was some love for it. But yeah, I thought it was terrible. Paige, what are the top 10 fragrances that didn't make top? Maybe I'll have to make that video for you. Maybe I will. Herod is my favorite Parfums de Marly. It's a good one. It's a good one. The Niche got me the to understand the world of Niche. Yeah, it got you into the world of Niche, and that's a wonderful thing. I'll have to make that video for you though, Paige. y'all got to remind me to make some of these funny videos. Matt says Killian smells. I read that. Ken says, Ben, are there any Creed fragrances you recommend? You tapped the Creed line yet? I've reviewed. Oh, if I haven't reviewed all of them, I've talked about, and I've got my hands on some of the vaulted ones. I can't recommend you go after the vaulted ones because they're so expensive or hard to get. Green Valley is better than Green Irish Tweed, in my opinion. One of the best green fragrances I've ever tried, and I mean that. Green Valley was pretty darn good. I liked Royal Scottish Lavender, but not everybody likes lavender, but it's more of a dry lavender. And it's not sweet, but it doesn't smell too old to me, but it is dry. So those were some of the best that I tried from Creed. But if you are going to try the house, if you can find a really good price on Virgin Island water, sorry about that. It's terribly light. It should be stronger, but it's always an enjoyable fragrance. That's one of their most enjoyable ones. I can't recommend too many others from the line. I mean, I'd get samples, see which one works for you. But if you mess with Creed, I wouldn't overpay for anything. And if you like original vetiver, I recommend that you explore more vetiver fragrances. There's a lot better out there for way better prices. And original Santal, there's way better amber fragrances out there for way better prices. So I definitely would not recommend original vetiver or original Santal. If you like original vetiver, get Guerlain vetiver for $30. It's just as good, if not better, for $30. So Johan says, Matt, I like the 4 Killian Frag super overrated house. Yeah, they get a lot of hype and things like their Black Phantom. It's decent, but to me, it's not really impressive. It doesn't blow me away. It's not that strong of a fragrance. I was expecting really strong performance when I tried it. I don't find that it's terribly strong, and I also don't find it terribly exciting. And it's not, I don't know. I was expecting this dense, rich gourmand. And it's a phantom fragrance. And I guess they were true to their name. To me, yeah, it's like a phantom. It's more wispy. It's like shadowy. And I guess they were true to their name. But so many fragrance reviewers make some of these gourmands sound so dense and heavy and rich. And not really. Daver says, Bond number 9 sucks. Yeah, I should give them a fair chance and try some more of their newer fragrances. But I tried like a dozen of them years or so ago, and didn't care for really much of any of them. I mean, again, Andy Warhol was great. New Harlem was a great, like a maple syrup fragrance. People would say it was like going to IHOP. It was a fun fragrance, but they discontinued some of those. So, but they do have one of the most disgusting fragrances, in my opinion, that I've ever smelled. Well, not disgusting as in I don't know, abhorrent, but it was like just I hated the smell. It's called Fire Island. Uh, if you, I don't know, some people can't smell what I smelled, but to me, I don't want to get into that. I think I mentioned it before, but whew, that was bad. Casey says I'm wearing Au Boise by Guerlain today. What does Au Boise stand for? Let's Google that. I always thought it meant of wood, but let's just double check on that so I don't make myself sound so dumb. And it's good to learn with each other. I definitely need to gonna make some content trying to help you out. But I explore, and on my Instagram, I also try to be informative as well as much as I can. So let's look this up. See, I must not be typing it in the way it wants to. Give me a little bit of patience. We're learning together. Let's see here. It just pulls up fragrance reviews. Funny. I know EAU all, or however you say it, means of. So maybe if I use the word translate, that's probably what it wants. If I search up the meaning of, it means drink. Really? Drink? What? No, the first definition they tell you is drink. But they also, right below it, tell you translation means wood. Yes, it means wood. It means like timber. Yeah, exactly. No, you could correct me if I'm wrong. And if you're French, I don't know. To some people it means drink, but in the world of perfumery it means wood. So just like fougere means fern-like, there's things like that. So there's terms and things that we use all the time that not everybody might not. I mean, not everybody knows. So nothing lasts. Yeah, nothing lasts forever. I'm just joking, but some fragrances do last a really good long time. Let's catch up with the comments. Have you ever seen? Have you seen the Nose documentary? I watched it last night for about an hour, and nothing new. Francois, by the end of the film, was still a mysterious character. I'm not sure. You'd have to tell me more, or tell me what to look up or what to Google. I'm not sure who this is. Idea. Agreed on Bond. Sedley's nice. Yeah, a lot of people like Sedley. If you like your fresh, aquatics with a little bit of a green touch, like people might not like my opinions, but to me, Sedley is almost like a niche version of Bulgari Aqua. Again, a lot of these fragrances aren't terribly original, and that's one of the criticisms of Parfums de Marly's. Now, most of their fragrances, you can kind of say that they're not terribly original. Gaza Be Thy Name says that's probably one reason they I mean most brands don't want to send me free fragrance, but they don't probably. I know Creed does it. Gaza says, like I learned only a few things about the man. Oh, you didn't learn anything about him, and the whole video was about him. Some documentaries are full of fluff, and some they only praise the individual. It's amazing how many documentaries, tell you pretty much nothing, or they only give you like 3 pages of information, and then the rest of it is it doesn't even tell you like where he walked to like every day, or where he what he used to shop for, or what he used to buy. It doesn't tell you anything. I know what you're saying. Ben says, "Scent of the day is Boise 1920 Spigo." Lavender metallic powdery bomb. That sounds interesting. That sounds fun. Warren says, awesome reviewer. Thank you, my friend. Thumbs up to you, too. Thank you, my friend. Matt says, sorry, I meant Parfums de Marly a Calan. I need to refresh my memory about that one. Might have tried it, but it's been a while. Nezia with the thumbs up. Thank you, Nezia. Warren says, I've purchased some of your scent suggestions. All of them are great. I definitely try to choose the best of the best with the blending and the quality and I try to give perspective on who they might be good for or what kind of situation. Um, I don't make up stuff in my fragrance reviews. Some people get annoyed at me, and I actually had somebody message me on Instagram because I said that Paul Rabanne 1 Million Lucky was almost semi-aquatic. It's in the background. It is still more of a nutty vanilla fragrance, but even Fragrantica and other people have said that it has almost somewhat of an aquatic edge to it, and it's probably some of the same, a little bit of the aquatic notes that they probably put in Invictus or something. So it's not the bubblegum aspect, but the aquatic aspect, and it's just in the background. So again, I find 1 Million Lucky a lot more wearable or versatile than people think. I wouldn't put on 10 sprays in the summer, but hey, I mean, 2 or 3 might work. Anyways, I'm getting tired. I'm probably going to wrap up this live. Let's in a second here, I'm going to try to catch up with the comments. Then we're going to see if there's any other new fragrances. We've been on here for about 2 hours, my friends. I got to wrap this up, but I do appreciate the love, and we're having an amazing conversation tonight. Great conversation. I purchased some of your. I read that Killian Black Phantom always gets compliments from many women, but not really my style. Too sweet. Yeah, it's a. I guess I didn't wear it enough around people. It never got me as much positive attention as like Azara Wanted by Night around here, or Invictus. 1 Million Lucky, or a lot. I mean, some of these fragrances I have. It never did for me, but maybe I guess you have to dress up or look the part or what it is. And I already have what is it called? Is it Histoire de Parfum? I think it is. It's their fragrance called Irreverent. It's from their high-end line. And it does a similar thing to that Black Phantom does. And I personally think it's the better fragrance. And I do have that in my collection. It's kind of strange at first on the skin. The opening of the fragrance is not terribly pleasant, but the dry down, if you'll, some people might find the first 10 minutes strange, but after it settles and blends in with your skin, it's great. And I like it a lot better than Black Phantom, but I find all Killian's fragrances sweet. They do have a history or connection. I think their focus when they first started, I think they're actually they produced alcohol. So a lot of their fragrances have slightly boozy and slightly sweet undertones. I know what you're saying, yeah. And some people don't like sweetness in fragrances. I do sometimes appreciate them, but sometimes I don't want a sweet fragrance. And a lot of modern, especially designer fragrances, a lot of people like that sweetness, and a lot of stuff is gonna get sweet and gonna get sweeter. And that was a topic a couple years ago. That's where the industry has been. Who knows what the next trend will be, but sweet looks like it's around to stay. So New Harlem was fantastic. Yeah, New Harlem was great. That was one of their best from Bond Number 9. Especially Angel Share. Yeah, Angel Share. That's true with the sweetness and the booziness. Cooper Square. That might be the one. Maybe it's Cooper Square. I was saying Copper Street. That's probably the one. I've heard good things about the Cooper Square. Maybe that was it. And there was another one or two. I can remember them by what they look like, but I don't know. I don't know when I'll get my nose on them, but we'll see. We'll see if I can get a sample or something. Warren says Ojan and Herod are my favorites from Parfums de Marly. Yeah, those are nice. Those are good ones for sure. Paige says my underrated pickup of the year so far is Christopher Street. Is that by Bond Number 9? Or is that by somebody else? I'm not really sure, Paige. Gaza says, what are some similar frags that have a delicious nutty smell like Paco Rabanne Lucky? Let me think. Of course, there's the Guerlain Leon, which I think is discontinued, supposedly, but there still seems to be somewhat of a supply of it out there. Everybody said it was going to be discontinued, but the supply of it hasn't. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to get, and people up the prices, and sometimes it's still available. So I don't know what to tell you on that one, but that one has that vibe. There's some fragrances that have a bready quality to them. I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for, but instead of nutty, they smell like fresh, like white bread. Trying to think of anything that has like a rich vanilla nuttiness. There's other fragrances that do similar things with coffee, but not necessarily nuttiness. I don't know. I'd have to jog my memory, make a video about that. Maybe we can go to Fragrantica real quick, and maybe they'll give us some suggestions. Let's look that up and see if they can help us out. See, did they suggest anything that similar? Collections, perfumes that remind me of. There's a clone of it by Alexandria. They're saying "If Feeling Impulse" by him, Hinode or Hinode. I have no experience with that, and then it kind of goes um, off the deep end. I don't know. There's some things that have a slight smell of coconut. You might want to look into some of those. Let's look up the Guerlain Le Homme and see if there's anything they compare that's similar to that. The Ideal, sorry. If you just say Guerlain Homme, that's the Mojito one. It's not the same thing, that's for sure. People who like the people who like the fragrance, they just give you recommendations. Then they give you this perfume reminds me of. Some people are saying Tonka Imperial. I don't know if I would say that. I don't know. I don't know if there's too many almondy things. There's Pegasus, which has a similar vibe. Let me catch up with the comments, and then we gotta look at the new fragrances. Lucky made me gag. Oh, I'm sorry. The 1 million Lucky didn't work for you. I visited Pirate Bay to get it. Thank God. Oh goodness. Is it true that Bond Number 9 took down a fragrant YouTube channel? Supposedly that is the rumor with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews with Sebastian. He won't really say it. I don't know if he won't say it, if it's because of some kind of legal ramifications, or maybe he's truly worried about what this channel will do. I don't know if it's because they sent him a bunch of fragrances, or and he agreed to something, and then he gave his honest review, and maybe he broke some some understanding. Maybe YouTube took the side of Bond Number 9, which again, YouTube does take side of companies and will slow down or even take down videos or slow videos down. And they have done that kind of thing before. So I don't know if that's true, but it sounds to me like it's completely true. But he won't directly say Bond Number 9, but we're all pretty sure who who it is. So what do you think has the better presentation? Tiziana, Terenzi, Roger Dove, Fragrance Du Bois. I've never held a Fragrance Du Bois bottle in my hands. I'm trying to get one. Imperium or Royal Crown. I think Royal Crown, to me, they're nice, but they're not that special. Their bottles are similar to like Artisan Parfumeur and how the bottles look. So to me, I'm sure the crown is very well made, but the bottles to me aren't that fancy. I don't know. Tiziana Terenzi has more unique shapes and sometimes goes over the top with their presentations. So I probably would have to pick them. I've never actually held a Fragrance Du Bois in my hand or Royal Crown yet. But from the pictures and everything I can tell, Fragrance Du Bois kind of captured Roger Dove bottles and a little bit. And Roger Dove bottles are nice and they're fancy, but I've never, maybe I just don't connect with the square bottles that much, but it's never like blown me away. I like more of like tall and thin. and like crystal clear. Um, I don't know. Well, the caps, I think, are what are supposed to get you with Roger Dove with their really fancy like crystals in them. Anyways, Casey Jones says, "Fragrance. What fragrances have you worn 5 times in the last 3 months?" Bulgari Aquamarine, Paul Rabanne 1 Million Lucky. I don't know. Maybe Timbuktu by Late Artisan might be one. I'm trying to look at my collection. I've been testing a lot of new fragrances and I'm reviewing things all the time. So I honestly don't usually wear the intent with samples. I usually don't wear the same fragrances, even in 3 months. I don't even hardly wear this, one fragrance maybe 5 times in 3 months. That sounds really bad. And that's one reason that I try to downsize my collection so I can actually wear things. And it's not even like I have 1,000 fragrances. These people who have, I mean, even 200 fragrances, 500. If you have 1,000 fragrances, there's no way that you might not even be able to wear one fragrance in an entire year because you have so many fragrances. There's only 365 days a year. Wearing one fragrance 5 times, I don't know, do the math. If you wanted to wear a fragrance 5 times, even in a year, I think you'd have to have, what is that, like 60, let's say 65 odd fragrances, maybe 70. If you had 70 fragrances, you could wear each one of those fragrances 5 times. I think if I did the number right, something like that. Similar, maybe 75 fragrances. I don't know. But I'm just doing quick math in my head. That's not a lot. And a lot of people in the fragrance community or who are fragrance lovers have a lot more than 75 fragrances. So, and that's not 3 months. That's an entire year. So Gaza says Nose is a documentary that follows Francois de Machi, Dior Parfumeur. It was released in 2020, I think. Okay, I need to watch it. Maybe see if it's any good. I didn't think he gave us a real insight into the Francois or his creations. Yeah, maybe it was just a promotional film and really light. A lot of things like that are these days. They're not going to give you too much information, and it was probably not made for the connoisseur. So you went to Pirate Bay, so you didn't have to pay for it. I see. I really appreciate your your realness. Yes, I'm authentic. I'm real, and I'm tired. I want to go sleep. Almost. And I wish I had some more food. Warren says, "I really appreciate your realness." Yes, I read that, and all these reviewers are embellishing in these fragrances. Yeah, I'm really positive about some fragrances here or there, especially if I think it's a great value or if it's a great fragrance for what it is. But I usually don't hype too many things, and hype does build up the views, like with the YouTube algorithm. It gets builds people's channels and gets people excited. But generally speaking, I don't try to hype and I don't try to create hype. But yeah, some people do. They want to get that new fragrance and they want to hype it, like Killian's, that Angel Share, stuff like that. So it happens. Britt says, "Lucky." I read that. Sorry about that. 1 million Lucky didn't work for you. Night all. Well, Bryn, you got to go back to work. Hope that you had some fun with us. I probably got to go soon too. I'm trying to catch up with all these comments and then finish up with the new releases. But by golly, y'all are chatty. It's pretty awesome. Gaza says, "Good night, Ben. Glad I caught your stream today." You're locked. Yeah, I don't even know if I can say that. I hope that you're safe out there. Be careful. This is a quality entertainment for Sunday afternoon here. Take care, mate. Well, I hope that you had some fun. Thanks for hanging out with me, my friend. Bryn says night. Yes, good night. Fritz says 1 million, absolutely gold. Probably the strongest fragrance ever made. I don't know if I've tried that. Sounds good. It's a Rose Oud Flanker 2012. I haven't tried that one. But Paul Rabanne has made some very strong fragrances. Their original Amen or Angel Men and the Silver Metal Flask was also extremely strong. They've made some real strong ones. Casey says, "Is Gent Sense the top of the mountain?" He's a cool guy. He does a lot of top tens. I'm not trying to criticize or antagonize or scrutinize other fragrance reviewers. That's not my purpose tonight, and that's not was not my intention. I hope that was very clear. So, but I do want to think I want to do a shout out to the fragrance reviewers I do watch and make like a little top 10 video, to so we can all try to support each other and share a little bit of love. So he's a cool guy. I think he's proven himself as pretty cool for the most part. Fritz the cat says I bought 1 million parfum because I love it for sniff, but it's still unopened. You haven't opened it? What? I'm afraid of it and what it might do to me. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Fritz. What's the fragrance going to do to you? Casey says Guerlain Le Homme is fantastic, subtle nuttiness and a great performance, not overwhelming. It is good, Casey. It's a good fragrance. It doesn't have much of a top or a base, but it doesn't change a lot. But it's a pretty good fragrance for sure, especially in the designer world. Fritz says Sebastian is pretty straightforward. He said he doesn't give many negative reviews because he just won't review it. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a way to approach things. Might as well give your effort, give your time, and give your passion, your love towards the things that you care about instead of, possibly offending a brand or offending people or even some people believe in not putting that energy out there. I can definitely see that point of view. And hey, I mean, I respect that. Casey says, do you worry about Creed shutting your channel down? I don't worry about it. And if they do shut me down, I'll come back with another channel. If and I would still try to review fragrances maybe a little bit, but I don't have money to do a lawsuit, but I probably would try to sue. Anyways, I don't think they would. I don't have enough influence for that. And it's not like they've given me free bottles and they can claim like harmful damages. Like I don't think I have enough influence to do anything. And it's not like I'm making much. I mean, I get a tiny bit of ad revenue. Creed, you can have the ad revenue on all of my monetized videos. And guess what you're going to get? You're going to get like $3. Creed, you want $3? You can have it. They're not, I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I'm not worried about it. I've been true and I've been to myself. Maybe that's what YouTubers are worried about, but I think YouTubers have an obligation to their viewers. If you're not a channel who's looking out for, the interest in trying to help your viewers get some value, whether it be beast mode, getting that longevity, getting value with composition or quality or blending, or finding cheapies or getting deals or finding the most exquisite, beautiful fragrances. I mean, what's the point of your channel? I mean, if you're not trying to help people in some way like that. So, and warning people of when they might get cheated or betrayed. Anyways, Matt says Max Forte said he has 1,500. Yeah. In order to wear his whole collection just once, his whole collection, one fragrance a day, in order to wear his collection, it would take him, what's the math? Like 4.5 years or something like that? It would take him over 4 years to wear his whole collection, one fragrance every day. Take him almost 4 years. Is that a lot of fragrance? To me, that's too much. That's stressful. And just imagine how much money that is. Just imagine just how much money that is. Niche designer, even if he has to sell things for half of what they're worth, sell them for cheaper than discounters. Let's say he gets 40% of the value of what he paid, or of the value of those fragrances. No, that's still an awful lot of money. And I would like to put that towards like vacations, traveling, building a business, having a better life, having a good computer, having good internet. Yeah, That's just crazy. Fritz says I was looking at my bottles and was surprised that or eat a healthier diet. I'd like to have healthier food. Yeah. Anyways, let's get off of that topic. I was looking at my bottles, was surprised that Lapidus is in a gray bottle was the most worn. Maybe spray too much. It's cheap. Yeah, maybe you overspray it. Hey, more power to you. If it was fun, if you had fun doing it, hey, more power to you. Casey says best fiction book you have read this year. I need to get back into reading books. I mostly just read. I mean, just watch on YouTube. Like people, I try to learn information about the woods and exploration and all kinds of things like homesteading. And I want to get into that kind of stuff. Have a little bit of property. Maybe I can have a cow named Bessie. I don't know. And I try that. That's what I've been doing in my free time. And I keep up this hobby. I Instagram. I keep up. I do just as much work or more work on Instagram than I do here on YouTube. And I try and I have to keep up with regular life and everything else. So I haven't been reading too many books. I there's some I caught up and read a bunch of self-help books and some old business books and some other things that I'd had, and I didn't really care for them very much. I have The Children of Hurin, which is like a continuation after Tolkien, supposed to be like after, The Return of the King with Lord of the Rings, like after all of that. Haven't read it yet. I read maybe the first couple pages, but haven't picked it up again. Probably need to find a good book. Probably should. That's a good question. We all should probably read a good book. Keep our minds well active. Anyways, let's look up look at if I can speak. Look at the new releases. I'm getting tired. Let's look and see if there's any other new fragrances that are exciting or interesting to us today. Some new brands that who knows where these brands are coming from. Filigree and Shadow, Mason and Lane. I mentioned that Diaz and Durga, Desert Paintbrush. Sarah Baker's kind of has a weird torso bottle. One of their fragrances. A new Boise 1920 coming out called Oro Rosa. So if you want a rose fragrance from Boise 1920, might be good. That's it's actually there's a Boise 1920. Actually, really like the house. They have their original fragrance. I think it was called Classic, or there's some fragrance that's kind of already called Classic. This one's maybe a flanker. It's called Paradise. Maybe it's a tropical version. Let's look at the notes of this one real quick. The notes are long. I'm not going to read all the notes, but it looks really fun. It has magnolia, coconut, and peach, and the signature DNA with a little bit of anise. Looks really nice. I'm sure somebody out there is going to really like that one. That looks like a solid fragrance. And again, I've mentioned it before. We don't have enough a lot of people like aquatics, but a lot of people also like tropical fragrances. And there's not a lot of brands who do them, and not a lot of companies who make good tropical fragrances. January Scent Project has a new fragrance coming out called Gong. Andrea Mack, some people know about them. They have a new one called Entrance. Looks good. Matiere Premiere has a new fragrance that came out recently called Oud 7. I need to explore their houses. I think they made one called Falcon Leather that looks good. Nothing else looks particularly interesting. A new fragrance brand came out called History in Drops. And there's some Duft made a fragrance called Match. So there's a few fragrances out there. Richard, I've never seen anybody talk about this brand. It's called Dark Side. Notes don't look super exciting. It has gunpowder and hinoki wood, which is unique, but are there any books or movies that inspired you about your fragrances and fashion? Well, I have some Celtic roots or that kind of stuff. I really like the Bourne movies, so I don't know, some of that like European, like I don't know, 1990s fashion. I still like that. I kind of would like to dress like that. like some 1990s, kind of like normal, I don't know, fashion maybe in Denmark or something. I don't know. I kind of like that stuff. I'm not too much into fashion. I don't have a lot of money to buy any nice fashion stuff. I need to get a whole new wardrobe. I haven't really ever bought any high end or nice fragrances. I don't remember even the last time I've walked into like a nice mall and just bought a bunch of stuff at full price. Like I mean, like nice stuff that I thought fit me. I just wear normal t-shirts and stuff and wear them out. So, anyways, with fashion, I like cool, sophisticated, and again, sometimes stuff that's a little bit like woven. I like metallic look, some metallic aspects. I like those little like thin stripes and stuff sometimes. It really depends, but I don't know about fashion enough about fashion. I haven't found enough fashion brands that I could say there's one fashion company that I really like. I have watched some of the presentations for the seasons like spring, summer, fall, winter for some of these brands where the people walk down the lane and share fashion. Some of that stuff is crazy to me, especially with how expensive it is. But to me, I just don't understand a lot of it. I couldn't imagine myself wearing it. Most of that stuff, I no. So I'm not their audience. Probably, I probably would feel more comfortable in camo. I'm not their target demographic. I'm currently reading All the Creatures Great, and it's really good. Maybe I'll have to catch up with that one. Aroma from Heaven. You popped in at the very end of the live. I got to go here soon, but thank you for popping in. James Bond seems to like your fashion. Yes, we joked about that last time. I like Aston Martin. I like clean, smooth, sophisticated, metallic. Uh, if I had a lady around, like chic, that kind of stuff. Just I don't like over the top flamboyance. I don't like overtly fluffy clothing. I don't like anything particularly strange. So is all he's Tom Ford. I've never had a Tom Ford suit, so I don't know. That'd be cool, but I'm not really so much a suit person. But I don't know. Maybe if my job demanded it. I used to wear a button-up shirt like every day. I did that. It felt comfortable, like a second skin. It's just to me. I don't try to put on that personality, or put on a show or look that way for clicks or views. And I don't know. To me, it doesn't make you a better person. Just because you look fancier. But I like fashion as a sense of just like fragrance, more of just a sense of expression. If somebody is expressing who they are and their personality and they like how they feel with how they look, that's what really matters. Not to me, not prestige or class or something like that. But a lot of people have very different views about that. So anyways, I'm going to wish y'all a good night. Thanks for hanging out. I see 4 very loyal people here hanging on to the almost 2.5 hours. Thank you all for hanging out. We had a good time tonight. I wish you a very happy weekend. Be safe, live well, cook some amazing food, hang out with friends or family if you can. I mean, if you're lockdown restricted, Skype them, use technology. You can still stay in contact with people, still be friends. I'm here for you. If you have questions, or if you want a personal free fragrance recommendation, message me on Instagram. That is the best and the easiest way to get a hold of me. And again, I'd like to invite you to my Instagram. Well, I just passed over 8,000 on Instagram, and I like the platform better, and people seem to like me a lot better over there on Instagram. So hope to see you. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Stay safe, live well. Again, hope that you had some fun. I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a good time. Live well. I'll see you soon. Bye.